Guess I gotta get added to the stage in order for you to see what's going on. Right. Right. So, yes, we're going to talk about these tariffs today. And the biggest consumers, you know what I'm saying? Who is the biggest consumer? Is it not us? Is it us? Is it not us? We're going to hope it's going to let me bring you up here too. I'm hoping it does. Let me take that off. I hope so. I hope it's going to let you come on. Oh, hey, hey, hey. We're going to leave.
I'm just trying to get myself educated on what's going on with these tariffs, and we're actually up to 125%. I think earlier you said a little bit less than that, right?
Yeah, he probably went up some more. He going to keep going up because they said they wasn't budget. They said they wasn't going to budge.
They tariffs against us.
It went up
84% or something. China's tariffs against us. Our tariffs against them. I don't even know. We probably might even need to be careful saying these names on these places because you know how this app can be.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're talking about the truth.
This is why we need it. This is why we need it. Yes, let's talk about these tariffs. So, because I really, honestly, I have no. Let me push this back because I don't think you can see it. I don't have. Well, I do got an issue because I've been in this hair industry for so long that about time I'm like, good gracious, can we get our beauty supply industry back, please? I'm so tired of these folks coming over here just buying up and having things and girl, I need my stuff back. You know what I'm saying? It was our industry first. So this is where I'm having an issue with. I'm like, yeah, they need to be taxed. Because they sure don't have no problem taxing us.
Yeah, absolutely. And you hear the cry of some of the American people when they so worried about how it's going to affect our economy, and we're forgetting that we're affecting their economy too. Because I talked to AI about that too, and yes, on both ends, it's having an effect. But on China, it is definitely having an effect on their economy. They're having to implement all type of stimulus plans and packages now to recover from the new, I guess, debt they would be incurring or increased price they would be incurring from our tariffs. So they are definitely feeling it. And let's just face it, in any type of fight, whether it's a biological warfare, combat, trade wars, it's going to be some pushback. It's going to be some discomfort felt on both sides. Even if you thinking about a fist fight, you might be kicking somebody's butt, but in the midst of that, you still getting hit. So,
that's right. That's right.
People need to calm down and understand that it's going to be retaliation. They ain't stupid. Yeah, they want to keep things exactly like it is.
Exactly. They do definitely want to keep it the way it is. They do not want it to go. So I'm going to read some stuff on tariffs. Peace and love, my brother. Peace and love, nephew. Yes, I'm glad to see you. Thank you. Glad to see that you're doing well also. So I'll just read this. As of Wednesday, April 9th, which is today, the trade relationship. Now, we were at 34%. They don't went up to 84%. They don't threw 84% at us now. You know what I'm saying? So is significantly impacted by recent tariff escalations. It's crucial to consider the very latest developments as trade policies can change rapidly. So as we're speaking, these trade policies, they can change in the next 5 minutes. He put a 90-day pause on some of the tariffs to the other countries, Which okay, that's cool. We can pause them, but y'all still have to understand. You have to stop coming up off of America because the biggest consumers are guess who? The AKA black Asiatic people are the most biggest consumers through any of this. So you mad because you the biggest consumer of nonsense. That's what this is too. The biggest consumer of nonsense. I'm gonna go down that pipe in a second. But we have also, China has announced an increase in the tariffs on goods and imports from the US to 84% from a previously announced 34%, which goes in effect tomorrow. The U.S. tariffs on China, the United States under the Trump administration has increased tariffs on them as of today to 104%. Thank you. Give these recent developments. I asked, well, what do we, because I have this conversation with AI. I said, well, we are the creators and the creator of debt giving us the most power if we learn this. Yeah, but we act like we don't want to learn what importing and exporting is about. It's always been important to me because being in the beauty industry, also having a hair business at one time, I had to learn what that was, what that language was, like what it is to import, what it is to export. So I was in it a lot, like learning it, and it was very interesting to see how they do things based on unit, based on weight. So you can't just say, oh yeah, I want to buy something, I can buy one. No, it's not happening. You got to buy 12 or you got to buy 10. You know what I'm saying? And I remember even when I first started making wigs, and I still want one of these machines. It's called a Junko, and you can only get it from China. Yeah, the machine only $400, but girl, after the taxes and the shipping, you might as well think about paying about $2,000. So look at the difference. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me?
Yeah, it's absurd. It's absurd. And when I was talking to AI about it, and I was looking at the differences between what we import from them versus what they import from us, the stark difference in the list was crazy because you can see clearly they only import their necessities from us.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, you can look at the stuff we import from them as necessities, but the list is so vast, it really shames America, and which is another reason we should respect what our president is doing, because we don't create nothing here.
No.
This list is everything that we use on a daily basis, and especially what you pointed out, us, our people, Black, Asiatic people, we are the number one consumers, and even take it a step further, the women are the biggest consumers out of that demographic.
That's
so
funny.
we spending all of this money, and they produce everything from smartphones, laptops,
Everything.
tablets, television. Let's just say
Everything.
all electronics, our apparel, our footwear, our toys, our games, our sports equipment, furniture, bedding,
Everything.
household goods, plastic, rubber products, automotive parts. And we don't want them to have to pay for that. We want to pay the cost for them to come in our house and sell their products to us. And then it's also a huge problem on an economic level, but on a moral level. Why aren't we producing anything?
Why are we producing anything? And this proves it. We're not producing nothing but a bunch of lip service. That's all we be producing. Just this. We're not producing anything. We give them soybeans. This is what we supply them with: soybean, corn, beef, chicken, sorghum, and other crops. That's all. But like you said, they supply us with everything. Why we ain't making stuff? So you telling me it's all right for these people, even though they make Nikes over there, it's okay for them to pay them 2 cents a pair, and you bring it over here and charge you $500 for a pair of Nikes. But over there in China and these other places where they're using sweatshops and they're using children and women to supply this stuff to you guys, even including down to the hair. Let's get to it. Now, let's really get into this. I've been in this industry 30 years, and it makes no sense. The amount of hair that China supplies us, because India don't supply America with all that hair, because it ain't enough Indian women growing that kind of hair to supply us, first and foremost. So where is it coming from? Not only are they unaliving women to take their hair, to send it over here to give it to you? Didn't Japan stop doing lace fronts, lace closures and frontals during the 19 thing, the sickness that popped off? Most women don't even realize a lot of this hair is coming from animals. They breed certain animals to grow hair over there in China to bring over here to put on your head. So all that stuff ain't human. Whatever you thinking is human. A yaki is a yak. That's a yak. It's an animal. Period.
Yeah, that's why so, people be having them allergic reactions today.
Allergic, yes. They're not on.
And I remember once I used yaki hair and it broke me out in a whole rash, my whole face and my whole neck. This was years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we wondering this stuff has parasites in it. You know,
bugs. It has every sister Shonda. When I used to get the virgin hair, I would have to cleanse it because it would come over here with lice and all kind of stuff in it. So I couldn't just put it in nobody's hair.
The child harvesting that's going on, keeping them children barely alive just enough to make sure their hair gonna grow. They gonna make sure they eating something just nutritious enough to make sure their hair grows so they can shave it out their head over and over and over again. And then what you think they good for after that? Y'all can imagine.
Yeah, they're not. They're mistreating them, and even the women. Some of them women that they're trafficking or taking in, they're shaving their hair off. It's abuse. So now you don't know what energy you're getting on that hair. You don't know what that person's been through. No different than the animal that you put in your body. You don't know what that animal been through before it hit you. And you have to understand energy is only transferable. So whatever energy was on that animal, whatever energy was on that woman, whatever energy was on any of this stuff that you get, whether they're making stuff and they putting a bunch of chemicals in it, the clothes, the hair products, people want to send their hair products over there to have them mass produced. You don't know what these people is mixing in this conditioner, shampoo, glue you putting in your hair, weave, wig, any of it.
Look at how absurd we are, though, and we sit up here, oh my God, China's trying to steal our information. Yeah. Guess what? They could change our whole lives.
Greetings,
Mama. Drop in a daggone hair product.
It's called chemical warfare, sis. That's what I'm telling people. I've spoken this for so many years, even when I was dealing with all these celebrities I've dealt with. Stop putting this wig on. We shouldn't be putting this on your head. They get mad at me because I'm trying to save your life and save your skin from discoloring, save you from getting skin cancer and all these other things that go on. Now, I've been speaking this stuff, I promise you, Sister Shonda, since about 2011. Stop doing this. We don't need to do this. We don't need to be doing this to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, down to all my celebrity clients, understanding why they don't fool, because I don't want to do that. But I'm watching them here and there, still seeing this stuff plastered on their head, still doing the same thing. And I know time and time again, I've always said, man, take care of what's under there. You're using this as a way to not take care of what you already got naturally. So you're mad. So that's the crazy part. You mad because that wants to be stopped. They can stop the poisoning of our people. You're good. You're cool with the whole poisoning of the people because you agree to this stuff. You fall for this stuff and you want to stand up strong for it. I'm confused, sis.
Everything that we are big consumers of comes from right over there.
Comes from over there. It does. It completely. Yes, brother. Noble. Chemical and spiritual warfare on both levels. We've given so much power over to others because we're too lazy to take it on ourselves. Everything should be made here. Everything. Why buy material goods because you want it? You can't take it with you. We waste money buying wants rather than needs. Yes, they also make synthetic. Yes, they make synthetic hair. And most people don't realize this synthetic hair is being made out of plastic. You can go on YouTube and watch them take stuff and remake it. All they're doing is take. It's like crazy the things they're doing. The system does have to end. The fabrics and the point. Yes, the fabrics. People think, oh, I didn't even realize how important it was until I started dealing with this brother that deals with clothing from Ethiopia and wondering the energy, instead of when I felt it on me, Sister Shonda, it took me to a whole nother place to say, wow, this cotton do make you feel better. And like you were saying earlier, it's the poisons that they're putting even in the clothes, the polyester, the blends. They sell it on Alibaba, AliExpress, Temu, Sheen, Wish. All of these are owned by them that come over here. And we get so excited because it was 6 cents. Oh, look, I got this earbud for 6 cents. That earbud might have all kind of radiation in it.
Right, though. But we don't care. Like, you know what? We care about convenience and excitement
Yes,
about
it's
new
wrong.
things and what appears to be new technologies and not what's healthy or
Yes,
what's beneficial. And
yes.
that's absurd. Then you got them, like you said, little websites like to move just created over there to undermine the small business because now instead of buying from the small business here locally that actually created their product by hand, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
order something off T-Move for 52 cents that's filled with all type of poison or limiting. I mean, even if it is beneficial, it's still an
Mm-hmm.
undermining type of thing and a slap in the face because they create everything. And you wonder why they can sell it for 52 cents because it only cost them a penny and a half to make it. So,
Exactly.
yeah,
He just said it
it's
takes
absurd.
it's $1.80 to make. Did he say $1.80 to make a
I
pair
think
of
that's what he
Jordans?
said.
Oh, $1.35 to make a pair of Jordans that they sell you for almost $200. So we're
Even
agreeing
higher
with
some.
child labor. We're agreeing with enslaved people by even purchasing from these folks. We're in agreement with this nonsense. Whether it's the clothes we buy, whatever, we're agreeing with what they're doing to our people. We're agreeing with what they're doing. When we used to make stuff ourselves, you took home ec, I made a pillow. We can make pillows ourselves. Cotton, it's over here.
Mm-hmm.
We should be making our own things.
There's no excuse for it. There's no excuse for it. And for the things that we do have to import from them, it why isn't it raw? Like they're buying raw material from us.
Right.
Why aren't we buying raw material from
From
them and
them.
creating ourselves? What it leads
Exactly.
me to believe is that most of the raw material we have here, we would need to buy the raw material from them. So are we even supplying the raw material? Do they produce the raw material? I have to do more educating of myself to figure this out. I don't know. It's real questions I have because what I notice is, like I said, from us, they buy raw materials. We're buying actual product, kitchen supplies. Come on now, we can't make a spoon over here. Like this is absurd. The stuff that we're buying from them.
Our own combs or any of that. Mama Susan said them the esters are all plastic poisonous fabrics. They take our garbage, send it back, and mix that mess and send it back here. Oh, the country is nothing but consumerism at its lowest. Perfumes, perfumes, and are from France. Yeah, perfumes, everything, y'all. Like everything that you can think of. They're even saying they send us oil seeds and fruits. Why are we getting that from them? Why we gotta get fruit from them? We can grow our own fruit, y'all. Do y'all have advice to give our females who are trapped in the Christian side of the matrix? Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I must say so. I mean, this at this point in the game, this is really where I'm at with people who are trapped into
You can't
those
save her.
schools. I'm not even going to call it a trap anymore. In this lifetime, that is where their level of understanding
Yes.
was meant to reach. So
Yep.
I hope that it benefits them to their highest good in this lifetime. And um, what Allah has for them is for them.
Islam, definitely, definitely. Run, Forrest, run. Somebody said run, Forrest, run. Exactly. But from the perfumes, like even down to Bath and Body Works. Do y'all know that stuff has poison in it? Like literally putting it on your body. And I know everybody loves it. The store stays packed. The sale is just amazing. And our sisters run to it. not realizing the poison. We're not even in control of our own lotions and soaps. And then you mad at somebody. This is what kills me. You want to question somebody's stuff that's sitting here taking their time to make you a lotion, a body butter, a hair oil, or anything like that.
Oh
And because
yes.
it's $20 and $30, you're mad. What'd you say? Excuse me. What'd you say, Sister
Yeah,
Shonda?
they look. I think that was the brother of this that made the
Oh,
noise. I don't know if he was trying to speak, but just to add to what you're saying, it's like people want to negate. They're so used to buying the mass-produced poisons that can be sold to you at a cheaper price because they're mass-produced poisons. While a sister that's at home making you some soap out of some authentic ingredients is sitting up there. She got to cover the supplies she bought. She has to cover and pay herself for her time, and a lot of these processes, some of them might even include literal muscle. They got to be
yes.
used. You know, I don't care if I am just whipping some daggone butter. Yeah, they got devices that do stuff, but it's still a lot of manual labor and time that is put into this. I wish the world was more balanced, and if we down and heal and do things accurately, I wouldn't have to charge you. I don't sell soap, but just saying me for example, I wouldn't have to charge you $30 for my soap because we would be on a bartering system.
Islam, definitely.
So we would be trading something of equal value, and we wouldn't be worried about $30 sound high because if I make soap and you make I don't know canned peaches, then let's make an exchange. You know, it's like
Exactly.
come on.
Because that's what we're coming back to. We're gonna give. It's gonna come if things were to just all fall apart. We would have to learn how to barter again. That's what we come from. We come from a bartering system. And if you don't know a bartering system, you should learn how to barter. You should learn. I used to have a client that would come to me and I would barter food. She would bring me boxes of food for my children. I would barter food for her hair services. I had no problem doing it because now I can feed my babies. I have 4 mouths to feed. I ain't tripping. Let's go. What we doing? Because she's gonna end up. I would end up spending that money anyway. So it's always it always makes sense. Even when I had a client that had a house for rent, I'd be like, "Well, you come get your hair done. You already spending 250 here, 3 here. We might as well just exchange that as a barter." You feel what I'm saying? We gotta become more smarter instead of complaining. It's the big complaining part for me that our people just want to do is complain.
And that's why I found the little blackout for Walmart so ridiculous because that's small minded ass thinking. Like that
Yeah,
ain't how you collapse no economy. You trying to collapse the economy. First of all, we have to build some interdependence amongst each other so that we have resources outside of their system. Trying to black out one store is that's for one day. That's child's play. That's a temper tantrum. That's not anything that's gonna be effective.
it's
We have to
not.
create connections and systems
Yes.
outside of their dollar. We have to not because if we still even moving their dollars within the black community, yes, that is very beneficial, and I'm not trying to completely knock that system because that's necessary right now and it's beneficial. But to really collapse their dollar, we need to give it back to them.
Yes, we got to give it back. I traded for honey, soap, shea butter. See, yes, exactly. Shea butters, crafts, clothes, foods, and hairdos. We definitely have to get back to that. Like, come on, y'all. It is crazy that all of these places that he's putting tariffs on supply us with stuff, and we barely supply. I mean, we barely supply them with things. But they have taken all of the jobs and resources, and in the 90s, they took them overseas to take away from our people. I'm a part of that generation that watched that crumble. When people, you think people are losing jobs now, do you know how many jobs people lost when they just picked up and said, oh, we're outsourcing this, we're outsourcing that, and we're sending it somewhere else? Our people
Oh, for
never got a
real.
chance.
Like, yeah, Detroit kind of crumbled because of that.
Yes.
Like it was all the warehouses shut down. People lost all these jobs because of this. Even look at speaking of outsourcing stuff. Listen to our customer service. I don't care. Call me a racist or whatever you want to call me. I immediately get pissed off when I call customer service and I hear another nationality
Yes.
speaking. It pisses me off immediately because number one, 9 times out of 10, and I'm usually right, is going to be a language barrier. You're not going to know how to communicate for real. You're only going to know how to regurgitate your script. So it's not a human experience. And then even when you're not getting another nationality, you're definitely not getting a human experience. You're getting the AI experience. And come on now, Verizon or whatever company you want to name, if you can take my money, I should be able to speak to a real person who is here in America. Like, come on now, this is crazy.
That's facts. That's facts. We have subjected ourselves to just be we're too dependent on other things and not dependent enough on ourselves for any of this. You can make braided hair out of banana leaves. You can get like all kind of things like bamboo. It's so many things you could break down and create it into something. Like we need to fall in love with our hair though. We need to fall in love with our natural hair because all this stuff is doing, and that's all I see on TikTok, anywhere else. I don't care if they're getting their hair braided, twisted, or what. This stuff is tight. It's pulling edges out. I mean, I get it. But I love my locks to look rough. I don't want them looking all tight to my. I don't like tight things to my head anyway. But when I look at these hairstyles and I'm looking at things as a hairstylist, I'm going, man, you keep doing that in about the next year, you ain't going to have an edge of the first. Or your locks are going to be it's going to be so weak at the root, it's going to pop. Like people don't understand. It's called elasticity in the hair. Elasticity is the ability of the hair to stretch before it breaks. So all the constant pulling, doing these things that we're doing, covering our hair up with all of this stuff that all it does is smother the hair and the hair doesn't breathe. Your hair is like a plant, people. It needs water, it needs light, it needs nourishment. It ain't just there because it's there. And even with locks, you have to take care of your hair.
Yeah, you got to show love.
Mama Susan said, hold on, I got 2 comments. Mama Susan, and she's from Detroit. She said, I'm from Detroit, and I remember the collapse. Exactly. It collapsed our car industry. Islam, it collapsed it. Um, what did she say? She said, published 3/26/18. I'm coming out. Our unknown superior spiritual queen mother wisdom is home. Ooh. Hey, God gave my hands the gift of extension braids over 45 years ago. And I understand that, but let me tell you something. 45 years ago, when hair was being braided, because I had an aunt that braided hair, whatever they were making hair of back then didn't take hair out the way it do now. It is totally different. What'd you say?
No, I'm agreeing with you. It totally changed. And back then, we still took care of our real hair no matter what was going on with our hair. Yeah. I was never so much, I used to do sew-ins and I used to do the micro braids. People were, that started trending. And sisters stopped taking care of their real hair and people ended up bald-headed after that trend. But no, I took breaks in between that because those things will make your hair shed like crazy when you took them out. So you needed to really recover. It was almost like a virgin.
Exactly.
Virginity back to my hair. But now we don't care. We go hair. Well, it's like what looks good matter. It doesn't matter how healthy it is for your scalp or your hair.
Islam, like definitely.
These products, like this probably going, and I'm sorry if this bothers somebody, but eyelashes.
Ooh.
That's crazy to me that somebody would gamble with putting glue by their eyeballs.
To be like, yes.
That's just crazy to me. Like, and then it's like I haven't seen the person yet who has wore eyelashes for a long time who still grow their natural eyelashes to the same degree. So you trade in your natural eyelashes in
for
this chemical-based product that can or cannot be real hair. It ain't like you putting it under a microscope and actually know what that is.
Yes.
Like that's a danger. So your eyes, you only get 2 of these, and this ain't something they around here replacing.
But just like, even think too. I
don't want to play with my eyes.
No, I don't want to play with my eyes. And these people will put hair glue on these eyelashes and put them on their eye. And the hair glue specifically says to not get it by your eye, but they gonna put it on there anyway.
The
To not put it
smell
on
of
your
hair
skin.
glue tell
Yeah.
you don't put it by your eye. That got a like a I don't even know what to call that smell, but it's a
Oh,
distinctive
it
odor to hair
stinks.
glue.
It stinks. I don't even want to say what it smell like, but baby, that thing don't smell good at all. Our sister Dr. T Vasir, and I would like to follow you, Dr. T. I'm gonna have to make sure I find you. She says, haha, my God's gift of extension braids has made room for me to exalt our unknown superior. So she has a book out, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm coming out. Our unknown superior. I'm gonna have to check that out. Um, let's check that out and see what that might be like,
Yeah, I
sis.
just followed her.
Poison usually don't, but yeah, it's like it's crazy how which what you were saying, like the eyelash thing. These are my eyes. Why am I playing around with my eyes like that to put these things on there when all you need is you could do some castor oil and take you a brush from the mascara brush and brush it on, and it'll grow your eyelashes out. But you're right, nobody has eyelashes that wear eyelashes like this. I had a friend when she would take them off, she literally looked like a muppet because there was no hair on her eyes. So she had to get them because they weren't growing anymore. Both
And it's
God and I
crazy
don't know.
because we even negating the purpose of them. Like those things, your eyelashes have a purpose. So once you, like you said, you down, you have to get them now because now you don't have anything shielding your eyes external. And then I've never studied this, but I'm gonna venture out and say it because I know it applies to the other areas of the body where our hair also is nerve endings. That's an extension of nervous systems to help perceive your environment. So it helps, like the hair on your head, it helps you perceive your environment. Even on your sexual organs,
Organs.
that hair is picking up information. So your eyes, them you can't tell me them eyelashes don't play some type of role in that same sensory perception.
Yes, you're
So
right. Because we were talking about that when there was this young lady on TikTok. She went to the doctor and she said, baby, I'm gonna need you to understand. You got to keep hair down there. You got to stop shaving that off. That's there for protection. Like we gotta, even the hair under our arms, like you just said, everything has a sensory to it. It's receiving some form of information, and it's there for protection. It's not just
yes,
there because it's there. You know what I'm saying? It's there for a certain type of protection, and we need to understand that. And I also heard a young lady say, she said, another young lady was speaking on it, and she was like, you know what? I don't do that. She said, because to me, if a man feels like I need to do that, he might like children more than he really messing with me. And she was like 20 some years old. I said, Lord, finally somebody said it. Thank you. Thank
and
you.
see, and that might hurt our brothers, but we really need to sit and think where we get our cultural movements from because we're no longer tribal anymore. So this isn't based off anything tribal. It's not based off anything, any wisdom of nature. It's not based off Allah or God by any name that you want to choose. We are getting our cultural movements from the propaganda and the media that they feed out to us.
Exactly.
So look at how vast the porn industry or just that level of information is all over the internet. And even before the internet boom, that they start presenting us these images of women clean shaven like that, and then the women got younger and younger and younger and younger, and now
Exactly.
you have set a standard of this being your sexuality, which is a fantasy of liking a child,
Mm-hmm.
whether you want to admit it or not. We got to pay attention to how they sneak these things in on us because that's how we stop them from doing it.
Yes, 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 yes. That's how we stop them from doing. Ooh, come on, sis. Come on, sis. Ooh.
Yeah, they present us these images, and we just start accepting it and accepting it and accepting it.
And
And next thing you know, it's just normal. Like look at TV versus when we were a child to television. Now they would just get under the covers and then they'd go to commercial. Now you got full blown scenes on TV, and this is crazy that on regular TV a child has access to this type of desensitization. I'm tearing that word up, but whatever.
mm-hmm.
Um, But it starts with them small movements of them doing little things first, and then we start fighting for our right to do it.
Yes,
And
yes.
now we don't went somewhere else. But nevertheless, I'm pretty sure China is responsible. Going back to the original things, I done took it somewhere else with
No,
the
you good.
eyelashes and even going there. I'm pretty sure China produces most of those too. Yeah,
Yes, they do. They do.
we got our women selling them everywhere online now, and that's great because we have found a way to make some money off of it. But let's stop making them rich for poisoning us.
Yeah, because that's all we're doing. We're making them we're paying them to take us out. That's why I would tell my clients, you can't pay me to take your hair out. You can't pay me to give you these things. I know you want to look glamorous and great on TV and stuff, but I'm not that hairstylist. You might need to go find these folks that could care less about if your hair come off or not, because all they worried about is their name. For me, I have integrity behind what I do.
Mm-hmm.
So it
Yeah,
ain't
you
about
definitely
all
do.
that. I want to keep your hair on your head. I want it to grow. I want it to be, I want you to be able to take this. My clients, I would take their weave out, their hair as long as the weave. Number one, because I take care of it. Like you said, I would take the weave out and tell them straight, okay, we're gonna wait 2 weeks before you get another one installed. I need your hair to breathe. I'm your hair doctor, so you're not gonna tell me how to take care of your hair. I've had to stop people from getting their hair colored. There's someone out here right now that wears her hair gray because of me. Because I was like, we ain't doing no more of this beautiful browns because it's taking your edges out. Because every 3, 4 days I gotta come back and put some rinse around your edges. Unhealthy. And I try to tell this to my clients. Look, you don't need a relaxer no more. You don't need this no more. People will fight you tooth and nail to tell you well, this is what I want. Well, I'm probably not the hairstylist for you then. Because you're not gonna pay me because you can go pay her $500-600 to take your hair out. And now in 6 months you ain't got no hair. Now you coming to me telling me, can I fix it?
And
Thank you,
see, the
ladies.
beauty and thing and what you're talking about is what we don't have anymore in society is authenticity in our professions. And it's across the board with the medical profession, with the hair profession, with
Everything.
nail techs, whatever you want to call it. Nobody cares about the health of the matter anymore. It's about cosmetics. It's about
Mm-hmm.
what looks good. And
Mm-hmm.
where your hairstylist is, like you said, I'm your hair technician. I'm your hair doctor. I'm supposed to be able to diagnose you and say, okay, we need to trim these split ends now. I'm supposed to be able to say, okay, we can't do these quick weaves because it's taking your edges out.
Exactly.
Now, women in cosmetology school, I don't know what they could be teaching anymore because it's not that it was a taught thing, it was just a moral thing that was there because I went, I didn't complete it. But it's like that integrity was there to where you, like you said, you weren't gonna keep doing a hairstyle on the sister and you seen it ripping her edges out, or
Wow.
gonna keep giving the sister new sets of nails and you see is she got. I'm watching women go online showing their hands and showing these horrible infections and blaming the nail shop. I blame both of y'all,
Yep.
but I do blame the nail shop because when the nail shop seen your nail was in a condition where it could form an infection, they were supposed to deny you the service.
But
They weren't supposed to go ahead and throw another nail on top of there just because you was paying for it.
how they gonna deny you a service when only one person has a license in these nail shops?
Whoa.
When the vid went down, the nail shops was trying to hurry up and open. They're the nastiest, most when I say nasty, you talk about unsanitary, and these folks run up in there to get these nails and feet done. Nasty, like from the
You know
way
what
they
I
keep
thought
stuff.
about, sis?
Ugh.
This is something I thought about, and it was the last time I went to the nail shop, and this wasn't that long ago, to be honest, and I haven't been back since then. And this ain't the only reason I didn't go back, if I be honest, but now you're making me bring this thought back to the forefront, and so it's my reason not to go back because I'm about to say this because this is one of the things that's really gross about them. I don't care if they have just cleans or so-called sanitize your hand or whatever. They use that same nail polish on hundreds of
Of
hands.
people. Oh, come on.
You don't know because, like you said, people leaving there with infections, which means when you polishing that sister nail, with that infection, you putting that same brush back in that polish and gonna use it on the neck. It's so much cross contamination
that goes on in there.
Crazy.
Yes, and you're even talking about that cross contamination. So when you're talking cross contamination, and they're the ones that make the polish, the polish is coming from everything we buy says made where? It's made over there. It's not made here. Even down to your pharmaceuticals, it says they supply it. They supply vaccination stuff. You don't know what's in there. That's why they were saying there was lead in some of that stuff, water. You don't know what these people are doing because guess what? They ain't got no loyalty to you and they ain't got no love to you. You just as good as your dollar is to them. And as soon as your dollar's done, they done with you.
Period. Hey, that's even how they treat you when you patronize their businesses, whether it's a hair store or a restaurant. It's like that old statement, hurry up and buy. That's really how they feel.
Hurry up and buy from the liquor stores and go on up out of here. Exactly. So they mistreat you anyway, but you'll run up in there to be mistreated. And all you'll do is complain. You don't watch these people beat people up in these nail shops, cuss them out. They could care less about you and your dollar. They just want you to just bring your dollar in here. I ain't worried about it. Just pay me.
And they know that we gonna continue to spend with them because they don't even care when their price gouge because they'll look at you and not that other businesses really negotiate like that, but it's the energy they bring with it. Like, yeah, it's $59.99. Like, put it down if you ain't gonna buy it. It's like, and they really feel like they can come in our communities and charge whatever they want because they know even if I got a problem with it, it's so many others in our community that'll come behind me and buy it anyhow. And it ain't even just them, it's the other nationalities that come into our communities, but even them, they getting their prices even cheaper from China. You might as well say because they're getting it from China, but not only are they just a part of the American system of China benefiting from us, but they ain't even paying American taxes on the stuff that they coming into our community and selling it to us. So they doubly winning off the whole system of these other countries making money off of us.
Yeah. So Mama Susan said Vietnam said they will do no tariffs. They just want the money. See what I mean? Give me my money. Give me my money. That's all they want. They want your money. They don't care. They care less if you rolled over and checked up out of here. They don't care. They don't care. Queen Mother Wisdom says she's shutting the whole world down for this lie and her children. And I'm so glad that that's taking place because it needs to take place. It really does because it makes no sense that they give us everything. We need everything back here so we can start making our stuff again and being proud that it came from here. From t-shirts to socks to shoes. I remember going to the store and every t-shirt when my mom would pick it up, whether it came from Kmart or Target, it said made in America on the tag. Made in the US. From my kids.
It used to be a thing for certain men, I've seen it depicted in the movies even where they only wanted to buy American. What kind of car you got, a Ford or a Chevrolet, Chevy, whatever you want to call it. And not saying that we can't get other cars, but just period, whatever it is, they took pride in buying. We getting fruit from Peru, y'all. That's absurd.
Blueberries.
That is absurd. And then, like, what kind of fruit is this where it's just taking that kind of journey like that and then preserving itself in the grocery store? Because the days of, we got to think, I don't care if it's coming on the plane or not. The harvesting of it is going to take a couple of days. Then they got to get on the plane and fly here. And then you got to get from there into the grocery store. So we got at least 4 or 5 days of processing time at a minimum. And then they put it in the grocery store and it's still good for us for about a week. That ain't real food.
No, you mean and they done sprayed it first. They done sprayed it first. Now they done sprayed it. They done sprayed the meat. They done sprayed all this stuff that they done shipped over here. Because when it said that Canada supplies us eggs and milk, and I'm like, what? Why would they be supplying that to us? I got cows around the corner. I know people got some chickens. Like, why would they be needing to do that? You know what I'm saying? But it's all these things that are being made in the lab, including down to because they, Vegans, we want to eat right. Then they come out with vegan plant-based meat. But when you look at what plant-based is, it's like plant, and then they separate the base from it. It's a hyphen in there. So you have to start questioning, well, why? Well, what plant did it come from? Because there's manufacturing plants. There's not just plants that grow out the ground. You know what I'm saying?
If you read the back of most of them, aside from some dehydrated spices, the only quote unquote vegetable in them is pea protein. And it's usually at something low, like 2 to 4%. Everything else of it is a bunch of words I can't even pronounce because they're chemicals.
Chemicals. All chemicals.
And we so crazy that even for people who are committed to eating a meat diet, like why every melanated person, I'm trying to get away from calling us black, but why every one of us that got a house don't own a chicken yet? Why y'all can't groom y'all own chickens so that you getting them out your backyard instead of buying these supposed to be chickens that we getting from these grocery stores when we know they can print food in labs. We know they are manufacturing these animals in inorganic ways, which like the same thing you said about pulling the hair from people, it retains information from whatever the person it came from. So does this meat. If these animals are living in unnatural environments and living with fear and stress their whole lives, then that is what is pumping through their blood. So when you get this meat, that whole programming of that meat you eat is toxic. I mean, we can call meat toxic by itself too, but I ain't here to judge nobody's diet because to each their own. But as you eat meat, at least you would know it was chicken if you raised it. Yes. At least you wouldn't have to complain about the price of eggs if you could go get them out your backyard.
Out your backyard. You wouldn't even be having a trip off of that they $9 and $10. But that's crazy. Like you were saying, it's crazy just how so much stuff is outsourced, is brought in here. When if they would have just left our female trees alone, if they just would have left them alone, we'd be all right. But they got rid of them. Somebody else got them. Because I promise you, when they say these folks send us seeds and fruit, I said, oh, so they're the ones that got the female seeds. The trees. Our female trees need to be. And now at Publix, actually, they're doing a fundraiser where they're asking you to donate the rest of your change for the wildlife. And the man in front of me said, wildlife, I'm tired of these deers. And the girl said, no, it don't have nothing to do with the deer. She said, it do have to do with the deers. She said, but think about your trees. They're knocking down all these trees, so the pollen has nowhere to go. So now it's on you. And now you got sinus issues and all of this. But the pollen, to me, that's the nut for the trees, so we can have more fruit and we can yield more, we can have more. That's what it's about.
The thing is too, America is so wicked, and people refuse to believe that this country is just as wicked. They will make deals, let's say, to buy seed from China, and in order to produce the necessity for the seeds to be purchased from China, they will create a conflict here of having no fruit being bared here or famine occurring here, they would call it in the old days. And now, oh my God, we need to buy the seed from China because we don't have any good fruit bearing seeds here. It's absurd. We need to be cultivating this stuff ourselves so that they can't tell us it's a famine if we're growing it ourselves. Again, and there's our bartering opportunity because we can't grow it all. So if I'm growing collard greens and tomatoes and Sister Tay is growing kale greens and peppers, then we swap harvest.
Exactly. We're able to eat. You're right. We're able to eat if we were doing that, if we were just doing that. And well, I'll say this. That's what it'll end up being if it was to happen. If it is to happen, if it is to come, whatever is to come, we have the ability to not be so affected by it if we just use what we've been knowing. Go back to how grandma taught you and things like that. None of us are far from these things, so we can act like it, but we're not. You're not too good to go outside and plant you some food. I don't care how cute you think you are. Like, come on, really? So until, like you said, we are able to take these things on ourselves and plant our own food. If you're going to eat meat, then farm your own animals. Get you some land and get you a cow or two or three or four. Get you a couple of chickens. Get you some eggs so the chickens can lay your eggs and all of that. What you say?
You had to go out there and get that milk yourself. You wouldn't want to drink it.
I promise. And that's the problem. See, everything's such a quick fix for our people that they wouldn't go out there and milk no cow for no milk 5 in the morning. They ain't getting up to go pick their chicken eggs up in the no. Uh-uh. Too much like right. It's too much like right. Um so with us being the biggest consumers when it comes to all of this, because it's our people that are the biggest consumers, y'all. So I'm speaking to us because it really is us. Like you said, you went and boycotted a store, but you went and boycotted Target for what reason? It was confusing to me. When you should have been boycotting so many other things, like I say, these beauty supplies. Y'all need to be boycotting stuff that really means something. But Target,
y'all
really?
make this much of a fuss. They start putting queer education classes in your school, and nobody had a campaign to not send your child to school this quarter because that's where my child would have been at home at that point. Thank goodness my children aged out by the time all this weirdness happened because I would probably be in a whole bunch of news stories
me too.
behind a lot of this stuff that they pull out at these schools.
My children wouldn't
but no,
be there.
I would have defaulted or exalted to just taking mines up out of there. That's what would have happened realistically. And then the things that we do in excess, like I'm looking at, like y'all probably thinking some of the stuff on this list. Okay, smartphones, laptops, tablets, televisions, cameras, electrical components. Yes, we can call these things necessity now, but do we need to upgrade it every 6 months just because they release a new device? Do we need to try to outdo everybody? Do we need a 200-inch screen TV? The clothing, shoes, apparel. Why are we buying these things? Everybody want to look nice, but do we have to go to the excess we go to? Even like furniture and stuff. We don't even buy quality furniture no more. You know how I know we don't? Because we buy throwaway furniture. Our grandmamas had the same couches our whole dang on childhood. Might even have plastic over it sometimes. And I ain't even saying do that. I'm just saying this is where our consumerism come in because we're never satisfied with what we got. We let them pump us the agenda to always want to upgrade more. And they got your brain so messed up where you get dopamine fixes from just constantly changing and getting something new instead of being satisfied with what you got and at least moving differently with the way we get these new things.
Yes, facts. That is such facts, sis. Such facts. How we're doing it, y'all. We're getting everything, and we can have our own cars. America built Chevy tough. Chevy, Ford, we invest into American-made cars instead of wanting these foreign-made cars. Invest into your country. The foreigners invest into their cars over there. They ain't buying no Chevy from America. They ain't buying no Mustang from America.
By default, we start buying more American cars, then they have to produce more cars, which means now they're hiring people again, and there goes some jobs back in our head.
Exactly.
And some decent paying jobs. It's all connected. And here's the crazy thing about us being the number one consumers is we claim to be so downtrodden and poor. So how are we the number one consumers with allegedly the least amount of money? Something ain't adding up.
Yeah, and it doesn't add up. How are we the biggest consumers with nothing? We are the biggest with nothing. Like literally. With nothing.
And that we trying so hard to be relevant that the little stuff we get that should be planting seeds on things that can produce wealth, produce real wealth, not money.
Yes.
We ain't getting those things. we getting stuff from China.
We want everything from there, right? So we are we're feeding them. We're keeping their economy going. It's like feeding your oppressor. You're just keeping it going, and they're not giving you nothing of quality, nothing. Because you can go on Amazon or any of these places, and none of this stuff is quality. None of it is. None
Like
of it.
America is uh like a sick person or animal that is only giving itself. It's like it's like almost like it's an underlying plan to have us play this role in the world of just being the consumers of the world. Because
Yes.
how does a system like this get into place unless it's on purpose where we're everybody else is healthier than us economic. Now you can look at the picture and say, yeah, there are some countries that are doing terrible. Yes, it is. But the illusion that America is doing so great, that is an illusion. Look at any city and look at our homeless rate. Look at the things that are really going on, the inflated prices that we have on everything, how much they're making us slave, the hours that
Mm-hmm.
are having to be worked in order to maintain even the lifestyles that people are fighting to maintain because that's how people were doing. I don't care what bracket you in, you just hold and want to maintain because a bad quarter can wreck everybody's life right now.
Mm-hmm.
With the way that this economy is, but then you go to these other countries and China, their idea of poverty is way different from ours. Yes, they have poverty, but it's not like ours. They don't have high homeless rates like we do. They don't.
Right.
It's really not a thing over there. You go to these some of these other countries that it's just a whole different way of living that we don't have here. Yet we are the biggest consumers, and they don't have this degree of consumerism that we have. So why are they so content, and we are caught up in this cycle of just consuming shit?
Yes.
Like we got to pay attention to the tricks being pulled on us.
Yes, Islam. There's a sister on Facebook, Miss Brenda says, these leaders don't need to be in power, period. They are destructive entities. We need individuals who know how to butcher animals. We do need individuals for that. But I'm going to say this, somebody's going to have to be somewhere because we can't let people run amok through stuff. So somebody going to have to lead something because and that's where we have to start taking more control over our communities. So when we start talking about this martial law, if martial law was to go into effect, we need to be learning how to cover our communities
Hmm.
because that's our problem. See, we're so comfortable with allowing someone else to come in and do it, but it's at the expense of us. It's always at the expense of us. People will work for $9 an hour to buy a burger. So you worked an hour for a burger. Exactly. And most of these places, wherever we live, you guys, any state, in the state of Georgia, the average person should be making about $50 an hour to make ends meet.
Yeah,
To make, I didn't say to
it's
get to, that you're
absurd.
balling neither. Y'all heard me say to make ends meet. That's
When
it.
you put it like that, making $9 an hour is equivalent to working a whole hour for a burger. That is insane. That's really insulting when you think about it like that.
Yes, very insulting. Very. What? And then people are like when they boycotted Target, it's like you boycott them in the first quarter. That's stupid. Like that was even goofy to me too. I was like, really? Like y'all ain't nothing. Y'all still working for free right now. It ain't penetrated nothing because you're still working for free. If you're working for these corporations, you're giving to them for free.
But see, that's that they just doing to making emotional moves because Al Sharpton started that idea. Come to find out, or at least that was the information I dug down to. And when has he ever had a good idea? I ain't heard one yet. He shows up for these marching moments, these we shall overcome moments that don't
That don't
accomplish
matter.
anything because we don't understand how economics work, or we wouldn't even have wasted time pushing that. Like, come on now, like we, and then nobody even had a backup plan. Like after we don't go here for one day, what's the backup plan? Are we gonna go to a different particular chain for that day? Are we going to invest in the stock market and drive Walmart stock down? Like, what really are we benefiting from
You ain't
not going
benefiting
there one day? And then
one
let's
day.
say if we didn't go today, that just means I'm going to not buy my toilet paper today to go in there and buy it tomorrow. So Walmart still got the money either way, whether they got it today or tomorrow.
Or tomorrow, because you didn't do anything unless we shut it completely down. But like you said, you still gonna have to go get tissue, your groceries. You still gonna have to choose one of these places to go to, unless you're providing for yourself. So I mean, at the end of the day, they could not. It could be a power thing. It could not be. You still gonna have to show up in these people's places to get it. Like everybody's getting all excited. Oh, he said they're gonna bring segregation back, and even if so, what do we really own that we gonna be like, oh, you can't come in here? You barely own your house. You're just a resident there when you really break all that down.
Come
So
on
what
now,
are
eminent
we?
domain, let them want it.
Yeah. So I'm confused. I'm confused.
But that's again, that's us being so complacent with like the battles. It's easier than the war, and it's like we want to win these little battles to pacify us, other than force real change. And it's
Change.
getting and
That's
but
right.
that's why where there's a Allah's will, there's a way, and this change is gonna happen. That's when like the catastrophe that is coming to the earth and
Yes.
to the countries, including America. It has to happen because this is the sad reality about the human psyche is we don't force change under levels of comfort. We have to
Mm,
be made so
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable that then it's like even when you look at different religious texts, it wasn't until they got so uncomfortable that they got on their knees and started crying out to Allah or Yahweh or whatever, So we got to reach that level of we haven't even. This is the tip of the iceberg of the maximum
Mm.
capacity of discomfort that we are about to feel, and some more than others, because those who are not ready to make these changes, because these things we talking about, like the barter, and this is not an idea. This is a coming future.
Oh, this is coming
It's a coming.
soon. Very
Yes,
soon. I don't need, man, I think it's coming so soon. It might make our heads spin how fast it's coming.
the cohabitating with people and having to get along and share spaces and build ways to survive, like gardening again. Knowing what you better get connected to some people that know what stuff grow in your area and what seasons this grows in and that grows in, because things don't grow all year round. So that you prepared for it. This is the wisdom our ancestors had, how they survived during the winter, because they knew what stuff to store up and to prepare, so that
Exactly.
during the winter months when they couldn't grow certain things or most things, they
Exactly.
were prepared for that, or created systems where they could still grow certain things.
Because, well, yeah, and when you go back into looking at the way we grew things, even all year round as the indigenous people, certain parts we would the way we would keep food growing all the time, we would grow it in the water, but we would use logs and dirt and mud and literally build what is a small mound, and through those
Yes.
logs we would place the food, so all year round we were able to eat because of the moisture from what's in the water. So we go back and really look at our ancestors and the way they kept themselves fed and everything. I mean, through from lentils to beans to everything. I mean, you can make tortillas and biscuits out of so many things, bread out of so
Yes.
many things. It's no reason why we keep thinking we have to have these things from somewhere else when we all are able to do it ourselves, because grandma did it. I know my grandma made ice cream, of course, tortillas,
My granny did too.
everything, bread, like store. No, like home. Learn how to be at home and put in your love in your food. It's like the energy that you can put in preparing your food is the love that you're giving back to yourself. Because you don't know what nobody's energy was on their fingers when you went and got this food or that food, went to the store, any of it. But when you're able to prepare your food and put your own energy into it, that's big. That's big.
and it brings in more community and more sisterhood, because a lot of that can seem like a lot of work when if every day you're having to do it by yourself versus when we come to the point that we have to start living together and getting along again, then at some point the sisters gonna have to come together. And why Sister Tay needing the bread, I could be peeling the potatoes.
Exactly.
So now we're doing this organic to where this is real food. Food's supposed to be programming information for your body, and we getting our information from created foods coming from China and Peru and wherever else.
And we don't know what, like I said, we don't know what they put on there, and we just run in the store and grab it. Okay, I can eat this as fast as quick, but not even knowing what went behind to prepare it. And so that's taking us out even more. So I wanted to talk too about Sister Shonda about this nubbing device that's out, because there's so much that's going on in the world that technology is coming so fast. I don't even think people are going to be ready for majority of the stuff that's already hitting the shelves. But this nubbing device, girl, I cannot get off of nubbing for nothing, because this serious.
When I looked into it, though, it's saying that that's not a real device as of now. That's a marketing tactic that Black Mirror used to market for their new upcoming season that's coming up.
But they already used that.
And I was thinking that too. That is a old. That's not a new concept for their series. In fact, I haven't even watched Black Mirror in years. So those episodes using that device have to be a couple of years old. But however, no, I was just gonna add that even though that is being said about it, the fact is it's still virtual reality exists. So in totality, it still already exists. And then when you think about some of the other devices that exist, it's not beyond me to think that actually does exist to some capacity. Period.
I'll say this. I trust that it is, and I'm gonna show you, Miss Brenda, what it is in just a second. Not only have they used it on TV, but when they have these VR things over your face and all this other stuff that they got, even like they said that the paying for your food with your hand wasn't real. But when I worked in downtown Decatur across from the hospital where a whole lot of rich people stay, everybody was paying with their grocery with their hand. Literally, and I was going, oh my gosh. So the nubbing device, Sister Miss Brenda. Now for this to just be a tactic, it is all over TikTok, and they are selling these things. There's some people selling it.
Yeah, I looked and I watched a couple of videos.
The implant claims to allow users to go into a virtual consciousness to read.
But I don't know. Some people wanted to.
I'm not sure what they actually seen celebs try
influencers doing those videos, but it's funny how they all are able to do the eye white out thing. I mean, it could be a filter, but it's like to pay an influencer to do it is one thing, but it's like how are they all having the same exact result?
What is nubbing? If you don't know what it is, you've got to see this. This shit is the future.
Oh, it ain't gonna show y'all in the camera. But nubbing, you can look it up actually. This is a whole commercial.
What? Star in classic movies. No way.
So it's a device that it sticks to the side of your head. They're sticking it here. When they press it, they go into a virtual world.
Crazy.
It's called nubbing.
There's actually a website and everything for this.
It's a website and everything.
Yo, what is nubbing? If you don't know what it is, you've got to see this. This shit is the future.
All I'm gonna say, these people can do anything. When they got cameras in the pen, when we doing straight stuff like what's his name? What's our boy? 007. When things like that are coming out, y'all, come on now. You just you have no idea what these people do behind closed doors.
Yeah, that's why I said it's not beyond me to believe it to be a real device. I was just telling you what the
thing said.
The internet is saying about it right now. Because I mean, let's think about Elon Musk's Neuralink? You know, that's the device that's
I mean, let's even. Can somebody please?
So we know that they do have these technologies. I mean, we got MK Ultra technology that can put all type of thoughts and stuff into your mind. Saying all these different modalities they have. That if we think that they haven't really come up with a way to click us into a virtual reality, then that would be underestimating.
Yes, and they are. Like they are. They even said that they're using these certain things to control people. It was a video where they were showing it and they were saying some of these like events where they done went in, ran over people in a crowd, things like that. There is a certain energy, and some of this stuff has even came through some of these things that go in your arm, where now they can control you through sound and through these devices, like through your phone, through your computer, and it can literally send you off into a crazy mind state. Like you'll just lose it. You don't know that's what you did.
Huh? Yeah, a lot of them people afterwards will say they have no recollection of what is going on. Or you look at them people like some of the people don't even look like they fit the stereotype, if you want to call it that. Or
the profile,
somebody who would do something like that. Like,
But yes, they do this. This is what they are out here doing this for real on people. So we can't take nothing lightly, even when they say it ain't, because that could be a way that they're going to sneak it up on you. As soon as you go to the doctor, now something's attached to your neck, and it's called a nubbin. You like, I don't know how that thing got there. I was at the doctor. That's it. We don't know what these folks are up to. If they are poisoning food and clothes and everything else, come on, nothing's too far-fetched for these people to want to do anything to take us up out of here. And to use technology to replace us, because that's what's happening too. The robots are going to be doing a whole lot of things that you won't be doing. They got the robot as your secretary now, the robot dogs, the robot police, like everything is turning into what we grew up seeing on television. Like this stuff is actually coming into a reality now.
Like in Wisconsin, in Madison, Wisconsin, if you live in certain areas, they're not
robots.
Sorry, I have a call from me. I don't know if it blocked me out. But yeah, if you live in certain areas and you like DoorDash or whatever you want to call it, a little robot will come bring you your food.
I see. That's what I'm saying. I don't need you bringing my food now. Miss Brenda said, I'm not going to no doctors. I'm just saying, we just have no idea no more, y'all, what no one is doing to us. We need to be more mindful of that. Yeah, I wanted to touch on the nubbing and just to say we just need to be careful. We just need to be mindful of everything that's going on around us, y'all. Like everything. And just stay prayed up. You need your connection to the Most High more than ever now. Like you could think you've let go of that, but you need that now, because it's just you don't know. You don't know if the people next to you is gonna try to. You don't know no more.
And then when we're about to be living in a society where nobody's gonna be dealing with reality, that's actually that's a scary disposition, because it's like, you know, what's going to happen to the real people that are about to enter this virtual world? Where, what type of shell of a being are they going to become? You know, after spending all this time and ultimately turning their life source over to this virtual reality. It's really like almost makes me think about like the mark of the beast. Like y'all really giving up y'all humanity to go into this virtual world where you're being promised an illusion, because the thing is, even going into this virtuality, allegedly creating this dream life, here in the real world, you're still walking closer and closer to death every moment, and probably even faster, because your body is going to shut down.
Yep. So I want to, I'm glad you brought that up. This body shutting down serious too. When these organs got to do so
Yeah,
much
what's
work
that?
for us. Something else. When we were talking earlier, I just happened to come across a video, and I had sent you a message. So I love me some C. Kirk Freeman Ill. Love him. C. Freeman Ill, my guy, right? He's transitioned on, but an amazing teacher. Amazing. Like, oh my God. You can even see where Bobby Hillman has sat in his classes. You know what I'm saying? This is how amazing C. Freeman Ill is. But he spoke on something, and me and you spoke on this in Revelations, and I told you I did a demonstration on it about the Church of Smyrna when it talks about the fake Jews, fake people, fake Jews posing as who they're not. You know what I mean, right?
Right,
So
yeah.
he happened to touch on that same thing. So I had told you about Father Divine. So allegedly, Father Divine was one that taught Prophet Noble Drew Ali. He taught some major people, allegedly. I don't want to say that because then the Moors will come at me trying to say some other stuff. So that's where I heard Father Divine from the last time when you asked me who Father Divine was.
Right.
So when he went into it, I was like, that's right, that's who Father Divine is. um, but he was speaking on the Church of Smyrna. So he went into a dictionary of philosophy and religion, right? He said it probably doesn't even exist anymore, but it was a dictionary based on where you could go in and it's going to give you the meaning of certain things. So Smyrna is a Greek word, right? And it means like myrrh, flowing, and sorrow. But in the metaphysical meaning of Smyrna, it means substance. And but you know in there it says but thou art rich or something like that. I don't have it out, but it says something about being rich, right? So when you're talking about the Smyrna in the substance, it's the center in the pit of the stomach, right? So he starts breaking this thing down, and he says Jew really means jewel. And we have 12 spiritual centers, which we do. If you study chakras or any of that, you can see, know that that's true. So we have 12 spiritual centers that shine like jewels for real. But we'll go get the stone on the outside, feeling it got the power because the jewels hold power. But it's really the jewels in us that hold more power than the jewels that we'll hold in our hands and feel we're getting energy from or whatever, even though it will touch it. But the ones inside are the ones really doing the work. So he was breaking down that and spoke about, because you was just talking about this body, where through that is where one becomes God through these 12 spiritual centers that we don't realize that they're in us. So this is what keeps us at such a heavy, low vibration, because we don't even realize they're in us, and they're really the ones that can activate to make anything happen. But we're still constantly, it's still this outside of our body self that we're still looking for these things. But where I was going with this, because you said something about this body. Now I need to go back to what you said. Teach Islam. But
I was talking about the decaying of the body
of the
and we
body.
need to stop using it and get more into this virtual. I mean, we already decaying because of we not using the body properly.
Yes. Okay. So you're right. So he says the synagogue of Satan is the centers of death, and those are the organ centers. There are false thoughts, right? So we talk about this 10 days of darkness. So he said it's 10 days of tribulation, which refers to the degrees of steps to perfecting of the individual, a period of development where we suffer a period of development where the real you leaves your spiritual body. This 10 days, girl, he said 10 days of tribulation. I said 10 days of darkness, Lord Jesus. It means 10 days, get your stuff together. That's what I was like,
Yeah, you're gonna be tempted inside and all type of things. You know what I mean? Like no Jesus in the wilderness, not still the temptation, but just your inner desire.
Your inner desire, Islam. Oh.
You know, moments of hardship or what might seem like desperation.
Yeah, yeah. And he talked about how that just like the decaying of the organs. He was really talking about that. Like the way they'll just decay, but we got to understand that these jewels that are within us, those are the power. That's what holds. So, if we have 10 days of tribulation, y'all, we really we got work to do. We still got so much work to do. But 10 days of tribulation, I'm like, man, I feel like I've been through tribulation for 40 something years. So
Right.
if I was only supposed to go 10 days, I've been missing the mark. What have I been doing, honey? I've been missing the
And
mark.
then see, it's really about where your mind and your heart at, because for some of us, it's gonna be relief for us. It's gonna be
Yes.
relief for us for the world to cease for a moment, to pause from its normal functioning. For
Yes.
things that really, the things that make the world seem so expensive is all the unnecessary consumerism that exists. Is really what's driving everything to be higher, because if we didn't live the way that we live, they couldn't pump this this information out for us to behave this way. But when things are simpler, like I can't wait for to go outside and just have to pick food and choose to eat from what's available in my backyard. That ain't no punishment to me.
Right.
Um, Not having meat, people seeing the panic like if meat ain't available. Like even when the 19 moment happened, the vid 19. Um,
Uh-huh.
the When people were panicking saying the grocery stores were empty at first, what they were really even only showing was where the meat was gone. It
Mm-hmm.
was still
Mm-hmm.
food in them stores. It was just the meat was gone. So y'all really deduced because it wasn't no meat available that y'all couldn't eat, and that's crazy. Like you
And you
better
know,
learn how to be able to eat real food.
yes, because you were speaking on that Popeye's chicken sandwich. Was that you speaking on it? And it's like they will, it's the things that they push, it's the certain things that they constantly push at us. If it's not a new food they gonna come out with, it's gonna be a school unaliving, a police unaliving, it's gonna be a collapse of a club. These are always their four things that they're gonna always do. They're gonna always, it's always something that they're pushing, but it's always to get a reaction out of us, and we don't even know. Like I be looking at that chicken sandwich going, them people is in line like they crazy. Do they even, what if they put crack in that chicken sandwich? What, how do you know what they
Right.
put in that chicken
What were
sandwich
they
while y'all
saying?
run into it?
People was fighting and waiting in line and angry. And I know, and I told them they was crazy for eating it, but I know a couple people that ate one and they said it tastes like a regular old chicken sandwich. It just
It
wasn't nothing
was nothing
spectacular
special.
about it. Because I'm like you said, what they sprinkle on that, that's, and that lets you know how they got it. This is what I said. I said that was a mind control device experiment. They used something to implant that. Wow. They used something to implant that thought in people's head and then sat back and watched how effectively it worked.
And so when they clone Tyrone, and they clone Tyrone, there was chicken where they sprinkled white stuff. Thank you, sister, Mama Susan. When in they clone Tyrone, they was sprinkling this white stuff on the chicken. Well, here in Georgia, which is a chicken and fish spot, I think out of Chicago, is it JJ's Fish? That's what they do. And people would say, "Ooh, I got to get that crack on my fish." And it's this white sprinkly stuff that they put on there. But in they clone Tyrone, they were at the chicken spot and they was eating the chicken, and everybody got happy and started laughing from the white stuff that was sprinkled on the chicken. You just don't know what. I'm like, it could be the minutest thing like that, just to some season. When they be talking about, hey, you want to season your fries? You know how you go to, whether it's an Asian restaurant, wherever. You want to season your fries? Here's some seasoning. You go, you don't know what that powdered substance might occur on it. The powder was, we was talking about. Yes, that powder. That powder. What is that powder, Sister V? Sister V talking about that powder was what we was talking about. Yeah, they sprinkling it on your food. You don't know if they sprinkled it on that chicken sandwich from Popeyes. Or them McDonald's fries or any of that. Y'all don't know what they're sprinkling on none of this stuff no more.
Just like that jab got behind that 19 bid.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know what was in that. Like y'all don't really know what was in that. And, like I prayerfully everybody that has it, they got it. Find some way to get it out their system. Hopefully, maybe. But that was a whole trap to put something in your body that had nothing to do with no daggone virus. And we just really trust the things that these people give us and trust that it's for our good, even though we constantly accuse them of doing evil, wicked shit. Um,
Yep. Yep. We will constantly complain. Well, they shouldn't be in power. They shouldn't do this. But we're not doing anything to stop them from doing what they're doing, but sitting around complaining about what they're doing. But we're not doing anything to stop it. We haven't done anything to stop from what's happening. So as much as I'll hear people say, well, you shouldn't do this, and I don't like this, and I don't like that, but we're not doing anything. We ain't came together to stop anything. So we in it. What do we do next? We ain't doing nothing to stop nothing. As much as people can hate this person or that person, Elon, whoever they want to hate, what are you doing to stop it? Have you brought anything together to organize to say this is how we can come, and not in a very intellectual way, in a very intellectual way? Because I take it back to Garvey, as he says, the pen is mightier than the sword, but the tongue is mightier than them both. And if you know how to use it in the correct way, you can get things done through a pen and through your mouth. Now, the sword is mighty, but you just taking people out. At that point, what have you really done? What is really sticking? What is really, have we got a solution after that? Or is it still the same thing? So we plan on doing things for our people and making sure that our rights and our civil liberties and all of that is protected, then we have to come at this in the most respectful way. That's why the Prophet Noble Drew Ali says what he says, and that's in our Constitution. As Moorish Americans, as indigenous people, as American Indian, whatever you want to call it, you must be law abiding. We must follow the law, abide by the law, because by being a Moorish American, we are a part and parcel of the government and must live our life accordingly. So it didn't say live your life the way you want to and run amok and do the things you want to. He specifically said it. So if we're in alignment with what is said and with the law, then we should have no problem doing what we need to do for our people in a very intellectual way, coming from a loving place too. Because we should know how to act better as Muslims. I mean, our other people, aka black folks, whoever else want to be out here acting a fool, they shouldn't be acting a fool. But we should be the example to show that we don't act a fool. We should be the example to show how we approach these things with dignity, respect, integrity, and all of that. Because he's given us, we got the plan. It's just whether we want to follow it. But most of the time, we don't want to follow instructions. We don't want to take the time to follow the instructions. I was watching a young sister on here today. I've been watching some younger content creators. And sis is about 25, 26 years old. She's teaching people how to write books. Just giving the information for free. She was like, I don't want to be paid for this. She said, I'm going to give it to y'all for free because I make $1,000 a day doing this. She was like, so why? So to me, that's what when you're doing for your people, when you got the knowledge and then you go out there and you give it, that's how you're spreading the gospel. That's how you're giving the holy breath. But anytime you got to go charging people for the little things it's crazy to me. This is the giving it away. These young folks giving it away on TikTok. Here, I just want you to make that too. So I was watching where they were saying during these protests, these Trump protests or whatever, that Generation Z didn't show up because Generation Z ain't trying to do all this nonsense. Generation Z is on something else. They on something else. They ain't on this. What'd you say, Sister Shonda?
Oh no, I'm listening to you, but I was thinking, it's like when you look at people who want to charge just to teach people stuff in that capacity, it would make me think like, can you really do what you're trying to teach me? Because it makes me feel like it's one of those things where those who can't do teach because teaching is your hustle. You're not really making money or any profitability or bearing any fruit in your life from what you're trying to teach me. So your whole hustle is to teach it. Because
Mm-hmm.
like you said, that sister said she making $1,000 doing it. So she got time to sit and teach to you for free.
To teach you for free. Exactly. Oh, you made a point. Yes, because most of the time when you're being charged for stuff, most can't really show you that it works. But this young lady was taking you step by step. Go to here, do this, download that. Ain't ask you for nothing. Now she said, now if you just want to go into debt and you need more one-on-one, she charges $27. But just think how many people probably gonna take her up on that $27. You feel what I'm saying? So it ain't like she's out here saying, "Yeah, pay me $1,000 to learn how to do this." She's saying, "It's $27. You just want to come in and learn, and you don't really want to. You're not getting it, and you don't get it just based off of the information I'm giving, and you need to go deeper." So it's like we need to be more on that. Like my brother Noble will give you all the info for free on law legalities. He's really great at it. He has an ebook out. It's an ebook. The ebook don't cost that much, but it's the fact that he will give you the information for free. He'll sit here on TikTok first of all in the hospital. This is why we talking about true Moors. He in the hospital. He's in his hospital bed still on TikTok delivering the holy breath, helping the people in the best way that he can to get them what they need. And there are things that he can show you it works. Because even when he brought me the thing on the Moors versus the Alliant Credit Union, Moore versus Alliant Credit Union, he brought that to me months before they put it on the news. So a lot of stuff that he speaks on, he can show you straight up proof. He can show you proof. It ain't that he just talking. He can show you what has worked for him, what hasn't worked, and he's not going to withhold that from you. So I respect those, and he's young. That's like he's a nephew. Call me auntie. Yeah, that's why I say this generation Z, we bred these babies differently. They really want to get out here and help the people. They really want to make sure that they're actually living a purpose out here. That's what I'm seeing from Generation Z. Now we do got ones out here wilding out, but that's because they don't know where to put all this energy at.
That's exactly what's going on. They just ain't nobody showed them where to put the energy. But those that grew up under parents that knew a little something, it's evident in the math stuff. So I'm proud of them.
Yes. Thank you for the hearts, y'all. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you. Yes, for real. Like we have, and even if some of our children have went a different direction, let me tell y'all something about Generation X parents. Let me tell y'all something about us. We raised some amazing children. I don't care what they told you or how you feel, and because one might have got in trouble or we raised some amazing children. We raised children that wasn't about to lay down and just take anything. Because Mana said in a minute, I have to tell people my parents were revolutionaries, and I be looking like, oh gosh, but you don't tell the people that at your job, brother. You don't tell them that. But it's for my children to say that. It's like I know they stand on their ground. They're active and more awakened, born with driven purpose. I swear Generation Z is. They came with a purpose and they didn't come to play. You might think it's out of order. They act maybe so, but they didn't come to play. They wasn't kumbaya and we shall overcome, and you can see it.
Yeah, they came to rebel against all those old systems that wasn't doing us no good. Like, no, they saying hell no, we're not about to keep doing this. It ain't benefiting.
Yes, Sister Me. That's right. It ain't benefiting. It ain't benefiting. And I want more for my family and my people. So instead of me going out here doing the most craziest things that some are doing, I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna work this out. That's why I do. I'm gonna tell y'all, this is why I do love TikTok, because I love the content creators. I love watching the young folks create their own way. They're not sitting around begging nobody. I need a job. I see more young folks out here talking about, you want to work from home? I can teach you how to work from home. I see more of them doing that than talking about, oh man, they taking all the jobs. They creating them away. These babies said, forget that. If y'all gonna take it, we gonna make it. So I know we did a great job, y'all. I know we did an amazing job. We may not feel it at times. We might feel we did an amazing job. Sister Shonda, Sister Vashira, any other mothers out here, we did amazing.
Yes, absolutely. You're right. You're right. These children are thinkers. Their minds are great above, you know, these recent generations. Like they have access to so much information and they're using it. And for that alone, the fact that they're great thinkers means that they're gonna create great innovation into this world and completely shift the paradigm the way that they are. Like you said,
Exactly.
that one sister come to mind that you were telling me about that was regurgitating those Bill of Rights and stuff like that. Like, to be young and to be interested in
Yes.
that is valuable.
Yes. That's Sister Chewy. Man, Chewy on TikTok, y'all. Chewbacca. That's what she called it. Chewbacca. That's what she calls herself. When I tell y'all, young mama can't be older than 25. She know them Bill of Rights from top to bottom. And she knows them. She don't just recite them, like she knows how to dissect them and break them down to you. Hey, for the people, for the republic I serve, Islam, because this is the republic. You right, and we getting our government back. That's all that's happening. And the prophet said he was gonna keep them here long enough to teach us how to run a government. So no, nobody said they were gonna be here forever. But just because someone gets out of power, what we gonna do when it's time for us to step up to power? We gotta know how to run this government, y'all, and we can't be ignorant to the fact of running a government,
Right.
because we in our emotions and our feelings, because that's not the proper way of doing it. I'm gonna be honest. I respect Donald Trump because goodness, that's how a businessman runs things. Be mad if you want. That's how a businessman runs things. You put pressure till they do what you say. Pressure busts a pipe every time. And I love the pressure. I told you the sisters was gonna keep our toenails on y'all's necks 2025 with the help of others, because this needs to be done. We got to learn how to do this for ourselves. Raise our nation up and be proud of our nation. Not raise our nation up and it's full of a bunch of nonsense, but raise our nation up to a point where we could be proud and people look across and say, y'all see that? I knew they could do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I knew they could do it. Everybody said they waiting on us. They didn't say, hey, I'm waiting on the United States. They said they waiting on us. Us. Because when we are ready to stand up for what belongs to us, everybody else will stand up with us. And it ain't got nothing to do with no race. When you're the children of the Most High, everybody wants to have your back. It's that you've given power over to somebody else that never had your back. And that so when someone does show up to teach you how to have your own back, you deny it because it don't look like you. But the same thing that looks like you is the same thing destroying you.
Mm-hmm.
Islam?
That's the reality.
Islam.
Right.
Greetings, brother Ali Bey. Would you like to say anything when you came in? I don't know. Me and Sister Shonda just vibing right now. Sister V, you want to say something over here on Facebook? Try to see if anybody wants to say something. No, 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 no. Yes, man, Sister Shonda. This is a great bill, one that we definitely have to keep going. We got to keep the energy flowing for the people, because hey, we all need each other.
Yeah, we
We all need
definitely
each
do,
other.
and I think that's the impending reality that is scaring everybody. Because I want to challenge anybody to tell me what really is wrong with the tariffs. Don't tell me what you fear. Oh my
Yeah.
God, prices are gonna go up. That's what you fear.
Yeah.
Tell me what is wrong with Donald Trump's tariffs on these other countries for what is going on. Like the fact based problem with it, not your feelings. Because when you look at the facts of it, it's what is going on, and we're afraid of the birthing pains that we are going to experience throughout this big shift that is inevitable to happen. But hey, it's not that I don't think it's going to be uncomfortable to some degree in my reality, but I celebrate it and I welcome it, and I'm glad that we have a business minded president that is making the wise business moves to get this country back on track, because right now what we getting paid ain't matching what we are paying to live, and a
No.
big chunk of our money is going on taxes. Like how many times are we paying taxes? They take taxes out our checks, then we gotta pay taxes when we buy products. We buy property and then we still gotta pay taxes on something we allegedly already own.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is absurd. And then when income tax comes around, we gotta pay taxes again. Like this is
They
it's
tax us. They tax us to death. They tax us to unaliving. Our brother Prince. I think I'm saying it right. Prince Dread says we taking it all back. The flag too is ours. It sure is. Those are our ancestors' colors in the flag. It sure is. The red crown, the white crown, and the blue crown all belong to us. That's upper, middle, and lower Egypt, like all of ours. It all belongs to us. But how will we take it back if we're not in the position to learn how to take it back? That's why being in the mix of it, when people try to say, oh no, that y'all shouldn't even be worried about all that. More as y'all stay out that business. No, we should be in this business because it's teaching us how to run our government. If we listen to y'all, we gonna be jacked up again and have to give it
it's
over to the
whatever.
heathens again. That's what it kind of makes me wonder, is these the heathens that be trying to hold on to the movement? Are these the heathens that came and took it?
I mean, because this is just crazy. It's like I don't see how they think we can thrive in the world without being a part of the government, or you should say, getting in the affairs of man. Like it's not something we cannot be worried about. We
Cannot.
need to get educated on it, and we need to get involved. We wouldn't have, hopefully, wouldn't have such a problem following the laws if they were laws that we participated in, making sure that they were laws based off justice and fairness and freedom and love, off real principles, then yeah, we should want to uphold the law and hold others accountable
Yeah.
for following that same law. Or are we just the immoral people that don't want to get involved with legal and lawful things? Because it has to be one or the other. Like, 'cause we're complaining about the way that it is, but we're not getting in the positions that we need to be in to change it. We just want to complain about it, and it's like it's over for that.
Yeah, so when you were saying for them to like we want to know your what am I trying to say? We want to know your thoughts on the tariffs and why are they bad or why are they good? Like what is your thoughts on that? And how what position do you feel can be played? We need to be in the affairs of men, but can we all find a position that we can play to make sure that we are a part of what they're doing to our people? Go ahead.
Hey, peace
Peace.
to the Republic. Uh, now me, I don't really, well, how can I put it? The tariffs are good for our country. It actually brings back industrialism to us.
Uh-huh.
Them deporting. See, the mistake they made was back in the 80s, they shut down all the factories to kill off our pockets, you know,
Mm.
to break our granddaddy and them's money.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was, I'm a 70s baby. I
Me
remember
too.
all the big factories here.
Uh-huh.
Everybody's uncle buying a Cadillac every year, you know, and all the new stuff. Own the stores, everybody own the gas stations, you know.
Uh-huh.
Um, and when they started selling shutting down the factories, I noticed a complete switch in our community, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so bringing back the tariffs is a good thing because it brings back industrialization to our country. Our factories open back up. Uncle James get to go back to buying a Cadillac every
That's
year.
right.
Understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Right. So it's a good thing. And then getting rid of the foreigners, that's best for us because it leaves more jobs for us. Just like right now with me being a person that does Lyft,
Mm-hmm.
I can see the difference in the immigrants being gone.
Really?
You know,
That's
yeah,
good.
get more
Okay.
funds, more money.
Okay.
Making more money now that he's deporting immigrants because they're not out there driving with us.
Yes.
Right.
Wow.
More money for Americans.
Come on now.
Right. More money for Americans. And I believe what he plans on doing is if he lets them stay here, that he's going to tax them for being here.
That's right. That's
They
right.
shouldn't come over here and just live scot free and not get anything. And personally, I think that tax that he's putting on these immigrants for coming here, taking up American jobs and space, I believe that tax should be split amongst the people. It shouldn't even go into no government fund. It should be sent directly to us.
It should be, yes. Which I in a way, I have a feeling it's going to happen that way.
I was thinking that too. I was honestly thinking he's going to get rid of the Native Americans because they're blights
Yep.
on their money.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of that whole story. Admit that they lied about it. Get them out the way and cut a deal with us so we don't start pulling all these paperwork on them and start messing up all these corporate. Because that's what it's going to lead to. All this doing our genealogy and all that stuff. It's going to lead to a civil war. It really will. When you start realizing I'm paying rent for my own shit.
Right. Right, for real
right.
though.
You're gonna start looking at dude riding down the street with that badge on a little bit different. You're gonna start looking at everybody, bro, this is my land. What did you do? I got the paperwork right here. Then James go talk to Willie Earl go talk to Janaz, you know what I'm saying? And everybody sitting on the block going, bro, fucking playing there.
Exactly.
Right, that's how it happens. Because now you got your paperwork on you going, hold on, man. It's our shit.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
So let me ask you this, Prince Dread. So when it comes to because you know they're saying that martial law is coming, which I think martial law is a good thing. Because I was looking at an event that happened April 20th of 1871 in Ludlow, Colorado.
Speaking of that, strangely, I'm on that. Wow, for real. Strange how the ancestors work. Yeah, I've been doing research into the Grand Army of the Republic that existed and was founded in 1866. I'm finding that their membership, they are the ones who are responsible for most of the massacres. That they are, just like $5 Indians.
Yes.
They are $5 veterans.
What?
They allowed the European immigrants to enter the Veterans Association in 1880.
What?
All the 60 million immigrants that came here were allowed to enter in 1880. Were allowed to enter the Grand Army of the Republic, the Veterans Association, right, as members. They were not veterans. They were $5 veterans.
Wow.
It became generational. Once their parents supposedly unalived, they children kept going. So anybody can enter. And so I was doing research, I kept wondering if the Grand Army. Quiet down. Sorry about that.
You good? I got 4 boys. I know. It's all right.
Yeah, so when you investigate, when I'm in my investigation of them, I started asking Meta, is it possible for the members of the Grand Army of the Republic to have committed massacres? It said no, but the law enforcement and the white supremacist mob were confounded of members of the Grand Army. You understand?
Wow.
So they let the European immigrants just enter the association.
Wow.
Right?
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
$5 veteran.
Found that out while studying and researching.
Wow.
They create these different pockets and then sign it in so that whoever they want to be in the little club can be in there.
Correct. It's
Wow.
slow to, and okay, it was founded in 1866, right? In Illinois.
1866.
So you
Uh-huh.
can actually see the hijack when they started flipping our history with their history.
Oh.
In 1870, the organization collapsed. In 1880, under new leadership, and them allowing the black veterans. Remember the word black is a different terminology in the 1800s. They allowed the black veterans to enter. Its membership swelled to over 400,000. You understand what I'm saying? In 1880. Right. These are the Europeans they're letting in.
Okay.
Okay. It became a political power. Pushed 3 presidencies, was behind the orphanages, the support of the orphan train. Yeah, that's all you clearly see this as European.
Wow.
Yeah, they did the same. They did with the $5 Indian word. They did with the Veteran Association.
$5 veterans. Lord, I am blown away. I'm like, whoa.
Then you have a nice little chat conversation with AI. It'll tell you that the Civil War was staged.
What?
Yes, all the pictures that you see are reenactments. It's been staged. So then I asked if there's a possibility that the Civil War was fake. It says, well, not all of it was fake. What you mean by not all of it?
Not all of it. Even if some of it.
Yeah.
What?
Not all of it. Actually, that's why I was like, wowed it when you mentioned that. Because I'm actually from work on TikTok. When I was scrolling through, I was getting ready to go make my TikTok drop it.
Okay. Okay.
They did a whole lot. They stole everything.
They sure did. So I want to tell you about Ludlow, Colorado. So I'm from Colorado originally. But in 1914, this happened. It was a massacre that happened. And it was during the coal miners. So they were doing this to the coal miners in Colorado. So they wanted to strike against them because they weren't, like, there were deplorable living conditions. All of this was going on, right? So the Colorado National Guard was called in, and they went in and attacked the tent colony of all these people. So when I asked like what the nationalities of the people were, they was of everybody. 1914, they was of everybody. Everybody was there. So they burnt the tent colony out. Guess who owned the company? Guess who owned the coal mining company, or maybe still owns it? The Rockefellers.
Well, yeah, the Rockefellers are, and I guarantee you, if you do your research a little bit more, you'll find that they had an outpost there too.
An outpost in Colorado?
Yes.
Wow.
Right. They had the Grand Army is behind all of this. This is their organization. This is how they get pushed. Most of these white supremacist mobs, 1914, the Grand Army of the Republic had an outpost in every state. They had over 403 outposts that is recorded. Okay, but strangely, when you look for where their outposts exactly were, they don't have a definite location for an organization that spanned over 50 years. It was in 1866 to 1956. They can't tell you where their outposts were, but they were in every state. Wow. They wiped that part out to disconnect us from putting together 2 and 2 that the mobs were organized groups. That's the only reason why you wipe out the locations.
Oh, okay.
This group had over 400,000 members, put 3 presidents through, backed all kinds of stuff. How do you not have their locations and where their outposts were? Unless you're removing it to protect it from being brought out that they were behind the massacres.
Wow. Yeah.
You cannot find the location of these outposts that they had all throughout the country. When I asked for Tulsa in 1921, I asked them, did they have an outpost and organization there? They said, yeah, but they just couldn't tell us where it was located at. There were several of them in Oklahoma.
Oh,
In
wow.
1921.
Okay.
Now remember, these are large groups of Caucasians who are organized.
Uh-huh.
They pay dues, everything. This is the manpower behind these mobs getting together. A focal point.
Okay. So
Right.
my sis said the Civil Rights Act of 1866. She said something about the Civil Rights Act of 1866, but there was a. So let me ask you about this one, because there was a Civil Rights Act of 1871, also known as the Ku Klux Klan Act. Huh?
I got you. This might help me a whole lot more when it comes to 1866.
Okay, Sister V, he said something gonna help for 1866. Lord, this why I love this.
Hold on, 1866. Let me go in here.
I'm stuck on this study.
1866. One second, I'll bring it right up.
Okay.
It's strange how our ancestors work.
It's called telepathy, y'all. We running on telepathy right now. Telepathy in this bad boy. They say that's what the Tower of Babel about.
TikTok taking all year.
Yeah, you know they will in a second. Because they don't want you saying nothing too truthful. They like, dang.
All right, here we go. It's finally starting to keep going.
Okay.
1866.
No, you want to show my face like that? It's so sad.
There we go. There you go, your 1866 right there. Can you give me the big screen, sir?
Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
That's it. How I do that?
Exactly what it is.
Is it? Oh, I can't see it. What I'm supposed to do? I can see it, but how do I big screen it?
Look it up, Tay, and put it in. Civil Rights Act of 1866.
Square right on. And send me the big screen. So tap on it, it should be a square in my profile, right above my picture. Tap on.
Right above you.
Do you see who he's shaking hands with?
I see the shaking of the. Dang, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, no.
The European.
Oh. Oh. Is that a wait? Is that a sheriff badge?
No, this is the medal that they were given out in 1866 to the veterans of the Civil War.
Oh, okay.
It explains that they were the slaves. You see 3 Europeans on there shaking the hand of a melanated brother. If you could give me the big screen.
I don't even know. You said it's the. Yeah, I wish I knew what I was doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, hold on. Let me see what it says.
Tap on my picture.
Expand.
Expand.
Got you. Okay, here we go. Okay, now I can see it. Oh, wow.
As you can see, that's Jamal on the right. That's a brother on the right.
Right there.
That's a brother on the right shaking the European's hands.
You see it, Sister Shonda?
That's a brother.
Wow.
Right. Those are 3 Europeans. That's a woman. Now notice the brother on the right is patting the European kid on the head. The woman is on her knees. Right. The woman is on her knees. And the man is shaking his hand. They're all in a thankful position. She's in a you saved my life.
Subservient, yes.
Right. You're okay now. That's why you pat the kid on the head. We freed them.
Damn!
Okay.
Oh, excuse me.
Now, here's the hijack. They tell you it was a civil war. This was a world war. Remember, the Europeans came here fleeing persecution. Okay? Who were they fleeing from? Who was persecuted?
What you say, sister?
We were fighting with Europe. There wasn't no civil war of us fighting each other. We were fighting with Europe. And we had some split off here to help fight with Europe. This was a world war. And they just covered up the whole Europe part in this and claimed it was a civil war and it was all about America. You know, remember all the great fighters went down in 1870s. You know, 5 years after the Civil War, supposedly. See how they switching up the dates?
Yes.
But these great fires go along with great conflicts. All those fires are actually conflicts, warfare. Well, go look at the buildings and the fires and stuff. They don't look like burning. They look like warfare. How do you blow up? How do you burn up brick?
Yeah, that's true.
How do you blow holes in bricks?
9/11.
Fire. They just lied. They covered up the conflict. So, right, this metal proves that they were lying about what was going on back then.
It sure does.
They were supposed to get rid of this.
Wow.
This was like a window back into 1860s.
Wow.
Right. So what they did was in 1866, after the war, they allowed for the ones that fought with us, they spoke up on the rest of the Europeans. And so them being illiterate, no education, they allowed them into the army. And while we were reconstructing, they used the army to coup us. This is why you see all the massacres in the late 1800s. This is why they all take place after the Civil War, because we done allowed them access to the military. Because we freed them. You know, apparently our people didn't realize that these people were capable of turning on them.
Right. Trusted them too easy.
They thought because they fought the war and we freed them that, you know, they were just going to come over here and, you know, get comfortable and, you know, mix in. They didn't know they was going to be like, you know what, I'm tired of being on bottom. Even though they fought for us, let's cool them.
Wow. What?
Hey, this medal says it.
Yes, I see it. Wow. I've never seen the medal. This is my first time seeing that.
Yeah.
Wow.
They didn't realize people was going to get smart and start digging and looking. They should have got rid of this.
They should have, yeah, they should have, but yeah, a lot of stuff they ain't gonna be. It's hard for them to get rid of everything, huh?
Yeah, but you can actually follow the progression of this metal through the years. You see the whitewashing, where they change it from the black brother on the front, you know, the melanated brother, to a white T-man in 1880. The metal stays the same all the way up to 1880. Then they come out with a new version of it. They just forgot to get rid of this old version.
Yeah, because this one says 8. Does that say 1861 to 1866?
Yeah, 1866.
And you said 1880 is when they changed it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Go look it up. You'll see it.
I'm gonna look it up. Oh wow.
They whitewashed it, and this is where they started switching everything in 1880. They got together. They really got organized in 1880.
Wow.
Yeah, and they using this organization as manpower and as a staging point for all their little offenses against us here. This was their manpower.
Okay.
This organization had too much going on. They even got a highway named after them. The Grand Army of the Republic, and it stretches all the way from one end of the country to the other end.
Really? It's a highway? Oh my goodness.
Yes. I mean, they should have been teaching us about this organization, but strangely, they never mentioned it in school.
No, I ain't never heard of this. I ain't never heard of the $5 veteran. You threw me because I'm like, wait a minute, hold up.
Well, how do you grow to put it like this? We know that it was supposed to be only 200,000 slave soldiers that entered the Civil War, right? That's what they tell us, right? 200,000. So where you get the 400,000 members from in 1880? You let the black veterans in. If it was only 200,000 veterans that served, and not to mention the number of soldiers that were supposedly lost. You see what I'm saying? So where you get the 400,000 in 1880? Because these are the Europeans.
Dang. Okay. Okay.
Right, that number ain't mathing.
It ain't mathing.
Right, you lost. You claim you lost all these casualties in the war, so and it was only 200,000 of us that entered the war. So where you get 400,000 from? So that means it'd be even less veterans
Mm.
because casualties of war, people being lost, so it'd be even less veterans. They claim they
Yep.
lost the number, but then you turn around and you look. Hold on, where you get 400,000 from in 1880? Then you start reading up on it. Oh, they allowed their family members. When right there, that's the catch. They allowed their family.
They allowed their family members.
That could have been, hey John, what's up, 100? You want to join the organization? Yes. Say you're my cousin. $5. They all had dues. $5.
Wow.
$5 veterans.
$5 veterans. $5 because when you were just saying that, have you seen the video where they were telling the Caucasians that they were not of no tribe? They was like, nah, we did all y'all's. They were in Virginia. We did all y'all's DNA and genetics. Ain't none of y'all are from a tribe of anything. They was mad. Them people was hot. They were hot. They was sitting there like, what?
$5 Indians.
Mm-hmm.
When they came here, the 60 million, they started buying their way into and if you notice in the late 1800s, all of a sudden Europeans come to power.
Yes.
And they started buying their way into everything.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
This is because they done cooled the society right there.
Totally. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, you gave me some stuff. See, let me tell you something. I've been quiet for a few cycles, and I just been quiet. But man, you done put some fire back under me right now. I'm like, what? Oh.
Yeah. What got me on this path was another more.
Oh, really?
Wise One Bay. Yeah, we was sitting around 2 years ago, and she said their 1865 was their independence. What she say? Independence, and it was our enslavement. And so they kept bringing with me. So I started looking one night I was sitting there smoking some trees, and Star Wars came on. I served the Republic, Anakin, and I just jumped up and looked. I was sitting there smoking some trees. He said, I served the Republic, Anakin, and I just jumped up and said, motherfucker, they talk about the fall of the Republic.
Wow.
I started paying attention to Star Wars even more, and I found everything in Star Wars in history.
Yes.
Galaxy Republic.
Right.
I am your daddy.
Off of the history of America and what happened here.
Yes.
Yeah, the Republic fleet, the Darth Vader, and the spaceships, the little starships coming out of the ship. Archon.
Wow.
Archon. They both carried a complement of 42 ships.
Oh, 42. Sister Shonda. There we go with that 42 again. Say it again, brother.
They carried a complement of 42 ships. They could be anywhere in the world and launch their airplanes, attack you, and then pick them up and keep going. That's the whole Star Wars thing right there. It's all in there.
Wow, let me tell you something, brother. Our sister Shonda, she's on pause right now, but when I say she is like a beast with numerology, astrology, cosmology, she been throwing these numbers out, and she keeps hitting this 42. She said, I don't know why this 42 keep coming up, but 42 just keep coming up. Every time she turn around, she's like,
talking about the 42 airplanes that they used to bomb Tulsa.
42 airplanes they used to bomb Tulsa. 40?
Yeah, okay. They claim, listen.
Girl, you can't make this up.
And incendiary products on it, right? But you got to remember, you either got to fly extremely low to make sure the wind don't blow it out, or you're going to drop ordnance. Okay? Which one you think they're going to do? You think they're going to pull in the USS Shenandoah or the USS Archon and drop stuff on the city and fly off and take back off? Or you think they're going to be trying to risk lighting dynamite in the cockpit with high air, trying to light Molotov cocktails and drop them out of a a ship. Which one you think they gonna
The first one you said.
Right, right.
Whoa.
And when it comes to that, the numerology, Order 66. That's all our number. That infamous Order 66 in Star Wars when they turn on the Jedi. That's talking about them turning on us.
You know what? I'm going back to watch Star Wars. That was the first movie my mom took me to the drive-in. That was my first drive-in experience. I love Star Wars. I want to be Princess Leia. Now I got to go back and watch again. Now I need to pay attention.
Princess Leia is sitting in the background on this medal. Hold on, let me show you another picture.
You know what?
Princess, for real, I'm going to show you a version of
Princess Leia. I've heard one.
You'll see the same hairstyle that she's wearing. That Luke Skywalker's mama is wearing in the movie. It's on this medal. Hold on. Let me get you a different version of it.
I am your mama. I am your daddy. Father.
Let me see. This should show it.
Wow. Y'all, I'm blown away right now. Y'all know I cannot even stop grinning. I'm blown away.
I gotta get it to size. You see the woman in the back.
I can see her in the back.
She got a hairpiece in her hair.
Okay.
And her dress is all like Luke Skywalker's mama in the movie.
Wow.
This is Amidala. The hairpiece, everything. Let me switch it.
Okay.
Like this is the whole Star Wars movie right here.
On the medal.
Because if you watch the Star Wars movie, you'll see they always wearing them big, fancy hair pieces.
Yes.
Hold on, let me get a cleaner version of it. Let's see, where's that? Man, I'm trying to black drop of it.
Brother Noble said, "Peace to you, Brother Dread."
What up? Yeah, he be rocking.
Don't he? He do. He do.
From the hospital. I love that about
him. No, I do too. He be in the hospital still going.
Yeah.
That's my guy. Yeah.
Hold on, let me see if this one will do. Let me see. It might be too small.
Okay, let me see.
Too small. Can you see the hairpiece?
I can see her back there. Let's see.
Let me switch the view cam position.
Okay.
Let me switch to this one. Maybe it's short better.
To describe everything in our universe. Ooh, okay, Sister V. 42 is the answer to the genuine mathematical structure law to describe everything in our universe. Come on. Oh, bam. Oh, I can see her clearly now.
I can see it now.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah,
you see her hairpiece back there?
Wow.
No, that's a hairpiece.
That's a trip.
You blow it up, you can see that's clearly a hairpiece in her hair. Then you go watch the Star Wars movie, they got the same type of
hairpiece on there.
I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Right.
Oh,
so
my God.
The whole movie, everything. When you see them go, when the Emperor tells Darth Vader to go execute the Separatists, they all dressed in English noble clothes. The Separatists are the melanated nobility of Europe.
Oh, here we go.
That was ruling Europe.
Here we go with the brothers ruling Europe. Here we go with these Negroes.
Right, that's what they're talking about. When you look at Star Wars and you see the Separatists, they all dressed in old English style clothes, nobility clothes. This is what they did after they lost the war. They surrendered. They lost the war. The same thing in Star Wars. They lost the war. The Separatists surrendered, and then he sent them over there with Order 66 and wiped them all out. This is why we don't have any more. And they had them all together at a big conference. If you watch the movie, all of them were together. And they were like, so what is Lord Sidious is going to do, this, that, and that? Dude locked the door and he pulls out the lightsaber. And he was like, no, they said he was going to. And then you hear him kill him, unalive and all of them. This is what they did to our melanated nobility who surrendered in Europe.
Wow.
Now, how can you tell that's true? Because 60 million Europeans came here who could not read or write speak English,
Mm-hmm.
indicating that English is not from Europe.
Mm-hmm.
It's too close. They should have been familiar with the English language. If Britain was actually an English power, they should have been familiar with their language. They shouldn't have had to come here and learn it.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
English was from here. Europeans were never empowered.
No, they weren't.
Until after 1865.
That's so wow. So question. There's two questions I got for you. So on this medal at the top, that's an eagle or a phoenix? Is that a phoenix or an eagle? I can't tell.
Wait a minute, on the medal at the top where?
Of this medal at the top of the flag, what is that, an eagle or a phoenix?
I believe, you know what, I didn't look at. I know that's the Fache sitting behind me, but I was so busy on exposed.
No, all the way at the top where he's holding the sword. He's holding the Is that an eagle, y'all? All the way at the top of this. Like if you go to the top of the thing that's holding the medal to the flag.
Yeah, that's I believe that's an eagle. I know that's the Fache behind it. That's the frequency weapon frequency. I'm getting tongue tied here.
Oh, that's all right.
A high vibration frequency weapon that you see in
what?
all of our government official papers and works. That's the Fache behind it. Okay, but
okay.
Look at the eagles and stuff. I was so busy breaking down the people.
Yeah, I see the trumpet on there. I see a trump, like that trumpet, right. That sword of justice. Mm-hmm. The eagle got the sword of justice in his claws.
Right.
Oh wow.
That's us.
This is off the y'all.
It's like a window back in the 1866. It's like you looking through the window going, oh, okay. There go Willie Earl.
That do look like Willie Earl. You ain't even lying. That's Willie Earl.
You gotta use old names.
Willie Earl, and that's Grandma Sue. Grandma Ann Elizabeth at the top. Right. Wow, y'all. I have never. This is. I'm gonna be stuck on this thing for a while. I'm just gonna be like this.
The whole series is created behind what happened 1915. What happened in Haiti? They went over there and they went into Haiti. They unalived the leader. They drug him to the streets. They took all the gold, right? That's the Mandalorian story in Star Wars. They did the Mandalorian leader and everything the same way, and they fight. The Mandalorians fought just like the Haitians. They use machetes, right? That's what the Mandalorians used to fight the Jedi. Long swords that look like machetes. That's what they was talking about. The Haitians. The whole thing, the whole breakdown of America and what happened to it is in Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm watching Star Wars. I'm watching Star Wars tonight. Forget it. I'm Star Warsing it up.
It's the missing story. Then you wonder why they love this stuff so much. Why they, like the convention had over 75,000 people, and this movie was made 20 years ago, and they still running around here 75,000 strong.
The convention. No, he did he say convention though? Like we mentioning conventions. Did I not talk about the convention? You know what, Sister Bashar? And I just talked about the conventions today, didn't I, Sister Shonda? I said 2 conventions. The Prophet was there for 2. One was the trademark convention, and the other one was the other one.
Right now, these conventions for this movie. And so I started thinking about it. I said, why do so many of them love this movie? And I said, it's because it's their greatest accomplishment that they cannot speak on.
Wow.
Is that why they call it the Reconstruction? Because what they did was reconstruction everything and took over everything.
Yeah, while we were pumping out 50,000, you can see what we was doing. We was pumping out 50,000 patents in a 60-year period. So that means we were all collectively working on rebuilding everything. You don't get 50,000 patents in a 60-year period without it being a common thing that everybody is working on. There's too many coming out in such a short period of time. So our people were focused on rebuilding after a war. Wow. You see what I'm saying? And while because we the builders, come on now.
Yes.
When have any of us men ever took a class for working on a house? What do? We go get with somebody we know, our uncle or somebody, and go to building on the house. I ain't never took a class on working on a house, but I know how to build a house. I know how to do everything on it because my uncle and them was always, come on, boy, I'm finna go put these windows in.
That's right. I know that's right. For real, we was just talking about that. We need them brothers to know how to build some stuff.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And without the use of technology.
Yes.
Right. None of us ask the average brother that works on a house that's coming to do your flow, paint, whatever, replace something. He gonna tell you he ain't take no class to do this. He worked with his uncle, the next door neighbor.
Yep.
We're the master builders.
Yep. We're the master builders. We are.
So in the late 1800s, when you're looking at us, they claiming they shipping us to Africa, to like Sierra Leone and all that. They not shipping us. We going over there to rebuild. We're contractors.
Oh. Wait a minute. Oh my goodness. Go back again. I need you to do that one all over again because I'm like this. What?
See, they gave you the narrative that they started shipping us all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as POW. But before they did the hijack, remember, we're in the reconstruction. So everybody who went over there, they claimed that Marcus Garvey was convincing people to go. No, they're lying. We were going back over these places like Sierra Leone, Nigeria are all our outposts in Africa. Africa was used for research and resources. Go look at the fresh water points on it. It's like facilities. They geologically, mathematically spaced apart from each other. They were placed there by man.
The Africans?
Yeah, that was our research land. Go look at the freshwater points of the continent of Africa. See, I started looking at it from a Star Wars perspective. I started looking at the ground differently instead of listening to the fucking,
history.
Right, water points. You said the fresh water points of what? My fault, Sister Shonda. Say that one more time.
Freshwater points of Africa.
Okay.
They're all mathematically and geologically spaced apart from each other. Those are facilities. Our people set up spots there. The people over there have tribal markings, which are the same as livestock markings. They call them tribal markings. But you brand your livestock like that. Their tribal markings are really livestock markings. This is why they don't have a collective language, a common language. They don't have ingenuity. They're so far behind us because they are the last of the bioengineered, genetically modified.
Oh!
So is that why their language is all mixed up in one, like, what you call it? It's a little bit of everything. It's like, it's not a specific language. It's just mixed up with a little bit of everything, and only that tribe understands that particular language because it's mixed with different. It's not a specific type of language. It's nothing that really is tracing you back to where you actually, who you really are. So you got a little bit of this, a little bit of that because they bringing people over who probably wasn't even from Africa.
Because it was a research land. It was a prison wasteland. It was never meant for civilization or society. Look at the land. You can't find no water. You can't find no food. It wasn't made for that.
So, boy, y'all got me. I'm ready, oh boy, y'all know. All right. So you're saying this is what you're saying to me, that this was a prison wasteland. It was only done for research. Yep. Right?
What did Walt Disney call it?
What?
What did Walt Disney call it? He said, "Look, Simba, as far as you can see, it's the wasteland."
Oh my God!
Oh my goodness, great!
I'm telling you, when they say they put it in the movies, they put it in the movies, and you catching it all. So
girl, stop!
About that, like
Lion King.
That the sun touches. You know what I'm saying? Like he did say that. So
hold up. So this.
Where were they at? Sitting on Pride Rock.
Pride Rock.
Yeah, it was Pride. Ain't nothing else there.
So I got a question. Y'all know it's about to come out my mouth. Oh my goodness. So are you saying okay? All right. You know more science, right? You know some of it. Do you know anything about?
I tend to let the Moors do their own thing.
Okay, I was just wondering.
I'm the supporter of the Moors, but I'll let y'all do your own thing. My
So,
family is not Moors. I mean, the Moors played. Put it like this: I feel like the Moors got stuck with a shitty job.
Man.
but wait, because I'm about to ask this question.
A shitty job for the Republic. I mean, they got sent over there to Europe to deal with all that corporation shit.
The law.
And they found the motherfuckers in the cave. And can you imagine how pissed off they was when they went there and was like, kid, yeah, they still in there, sir. What you want me to do? Extended stay. You gotta do what? You gotta pull them out the caves.
Oh.
They was pissed off. Come on now, you know that they wanted to go home.
Right. So you say you don't, but my question in this Constitution it says the Moorish Americans are the descendants of the Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. What'd you say?
Yeah, that's the right end. That's the right end. Nothing came out of Africa. It's not. Look at it. It's not conducive for life, for society.
Islam. Actually, the ones that were supposedly sent over there to handle it, like it depends on what you're talking about. Are you talking about the Moors, the Murs? The Moors is spelled Mohr. Each way you spell the word.
What'd you say, Sister Tay?
It's a different version of our people.
Yep, I said that.
You just said that.
So when you're looking at the Moors was the science and military part of the Republic. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When they went to enforce law and stuff. When you look at Europe and the lore of Europe, it's corporation shit. It's all about the corporation, alchemy, love potion. This is all stuff you will go to at a corporation for. I want a love potion number 9. I want my woman.
Ooh.
It's the alchemist, the transformation of energy, of getting the power and the control of other ones, even it be the ones that look like you, that still be in that nobility, that elite status, that still thinks they're better than you. But truth be told, they was tricked out they spot just as well as we was.
So when you look at the lore of Europe, you're looking at corporation shit, bioengineering, Dracula, Wolfman, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, genetic modification, Frankenstein, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, Beauty and the Beast, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. She could only be woken up by the prince.
Prince of the Frog.
Yeah. Because it's corporation shit. He ordered her, and only his DNA could activate her. This is corporation stuff going on over there in Europe. Okay. Now imagine you got all these house crafts that you're seeing. The nobility are companies from over here in America going over there setting up. And then the years go by, they turn into cities, to towns, to cities, to these mega corporations, and they all start fighting with each other. Because it's corporation shit going on. They crunching numbers, so they get into a numbers crunch fight. And then next thing you know, it's getting wild over there because you got all those plagues coming out. That's bioengineering warfare going on. Oh, you don't do this? Well, I hit you with this. Well, I hit you with that. And this is why you see the bubonic plague, the Black Death, pox, foot and mouth disease, anthrax, 13 different plagues that came out over in Europe. No, that's bio warfare, bro.
Ooh, you better say that.
Fighting over there amongst each other. And this is when you look at the lore of Europe, they're always fighting with each other. So then they send the Moors in over there. Okay, it's getting out of control over here. Yeah, y'all gotta go over there. Oh, we do? Yeah, y'all gotta go. And that's where the Moors come into the picture, and that's why they ruled for 700 years, and then it collapses because the shit just done got out of control.
Oh boy. I like you.
And then now they're trying to figure out, this is why they had to bring them out the caves. Now they're trying to figure out what to do with them, but they're multiplying so fast that it overruns them. And this is why you see the Moors dealing with the wild man running out, and so many of them. You see them old paintings and all that stuff of the Moors with the spears against the wild man? Because there's so many of them. The machine is just running. They're just pumping them out down there.
The machine.
Europeans suffered from lead and mercury poisoning. What does lead do? It blocks radiation. It naturally blocks radiation. What's underground? Plutonium. What's the name of them? Lithium, plutonium, all these natural forms of radiation. Yes. And they were suffering from widespread lead and mercury poisoning. These lead poisoning. Lead poisoning. They was using them for sunscreen. Yeah, they was using them for a surplus of expendable workers. This is why their lifespan. Look, here, I'm gonna tie it together a little bit more. In the colonies, they lived to be 25, right? But in Europe, they lived to be 35. How was that? Two different manufacturers. Ooh, the Cabbage Patch Kids. Incubator babies. The Cabbage Patch Kids, boy. Ooh.
So are them the same as you call them, like Neanderthals?
Well, yeah, they call them some of everything, but the point is we're looking at your grand's little Jimmy Neutron experiment run wild.
Because that's what we created, right?
Yeah. Your grand and them did too much in the laboratory.
So them is our cousins, and they need their butt whooped right now because they out of line.
Well, I'll put it to you like this. One thing I appreciate our grandparents and them doing is putting the cutoff switch in them. That's why they got a low birth rate now. Think about it. They had an extinction level. By 2030. They had extinction level right now. By 2030, there'll be no more. Joe Biden told the people that, told the what you call them, Black Caucus folks, y'all better learn how to get along with the Mexicans, because in a minute we ain't gonna be here. That's what he said.
So they're in the minority.
They are the minority.
They're not majority. They're in the minority now, and that's why they come up with all these abortion clinics and stuff like that for, and taking our placentas and trying to recreate and keep their lifespan going. Is that the reason?
Yeah, look up Ectolife. It's a facility in the South Pacific. It pumps out of 30,000 artificially created babies a year. It serves Bulgaria, China. I got the TikTok. And this is where you getting all your celebrities from. Just to let you know, they're coming out of these incubations. Right, and they are seriously coming out of these babies now. You can go look it up. You can literally order you a baby right now. You can. They got them on TikTok. Wait, there's a lady on TikTok got them babies. Them babies look so real, for real. No,
you can order a baby.
Yeah, you can order a baby. Send your DNA. You got the money, $100,000, $300,000, $400,000. You can go call up Ectolife. This is a South Pacific corporation. Heck no, that's where the Brat and them got that baby from. Send your DNA and everything and order you a designer baby.
But in that baby, there's no soul.
Well, let them claim it is. They have artificial wings and everything. Hold on, where's my other phone? Artificial soul, so there's no real soul.
Figure out how to trap the soul on this side, so that this way they can learn how to transfer consciousness or the soul, the energy of the body into a dummy.
I'm telling you, that's what that nubbing device is for. They gonna be taking souls. They snatching souls, y'all. That nubbing. I have a feeling that nubbing device.
That kind of sounds like the Epic of Gilgamesh. I think that is where they created something from dirt and animated a creature, and only a word could do it or something like that.
What?
The Smurfs.
This one said this.
No, the Epic of Gilgamesh is the it just sound
Gilgamesh, yes.
Smurfs. Right, but no, the Epic of Gilgamesh, that's an old Sumerian tablet. I know, I'm just being funny.
This one said the Smurfs.
Problem with the Sumerian tablet.
Huh?
It's connected to the don't realize that the Smurfs are actually about us.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they are. Yeah, they are. Shit, what ain't about us at this point?
Gilgamesh was the story of the wild man trying to tell people that the people outside of the caves were for darker skin and they was actually people of the sun.
And they were blue.
They were blue, like Avatar.
Exactly.
Avatar, the same thing, same story about us. Wow, he is blowing my brain right now.
It is a house.
I knew I wasn't feeling this way for no reason. I'm on nervous. Excuse me. My apologies.
Society and our government. You know, we got all these political establishments. I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That's the problem. This is
Mm-hmm.
why I learned about the Republic. You know, mentioning our society that used to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Give me 1 second, child. 1 second. I'm listening.
Our society.
Tartaria, yes.
Look at the building. That's the Corn Palace, 1830. Look at the building. Look what's on the Indy. Right there in the big old corner of it. It's 1938, 40 something.
Is that in Chicago?
That's South Dakota.
South Dakota.
Look what's on the building. Look the structures, look the designs and stuff on the building. See that big old Indian sitting right there.
Right in the middle.
Right. Just staring us right in the face. They wiped out our society and our government.
They built over it.
You see the building?
They built over a lot of things.
Yeah, you see the building. Right. We don't know what was going on in it because they done told us that we were primitive and we didn't have a society. And we had a whole ruling government, a whole society that ruled the world. Just look at 1906 and follow the timeline of everything that happened in 1906. Like, oh, this happened. Look at 1880 and all the stuff in the timeline that happened in 1880. You can tell that they were all working together to overthrow us. Well, what happened in 1906? Rockefeller rewrote the history, rewrote the educational system, right?
Educational system.
And what else happened? In 1906, the last emperor of China was dethroned. They burned the Forbidden City, and they burned 1,000 years of artwork and tapestry in China.
Wow.
Because they getting rid of us. Well, look at the last emperor of China's stuff. All this stuff is extra big over those people. He was a melanated man. The Forbidden City, they weren't allowed to look at it. All this shit was extra big. There's a brother over there running China.
Yes, you're right.
Now into Grand Canyon now too. That's all our ancient stuff is there.
Right.
Yeah, they call that the four corners of the earth. Arizona, Colorado, they call it the four corners. Something about that being the four corners because of the history that's hidden there.
Yeah, when you have something you did, you can't tell nobody because you'll lose it. You gotta hide somewhere in plain sight.
Yeah.
And they hid it in Star Wars. The airships, all that stuff. That, you know, when you watch Star Wars, you see him jumping out of one ship, dropping onto another airship. And these people are riding in them like they taxis because it was really like that back then.
Yeah. That's fine.
And flying hotels and everything.
They had everything, yeah.
Yeah, the Lindenberg, which crashed and burned in Lakehurst, New Jersey in 1935. The reason why they wiped that out so fast is because it shows mass transportation, how they really got to this country.
Yeah.
You know, the rich, right. I mean, what you gonna do? Bring millions of people on the ship, or you gonna drop them in this airship and bring them here in 2 days?
Right. You're right. Because did y'all hear where not to take away from what you're saying, where Elon said he was doing something in Memphis, Tennessee. He said, yeah, that's ancient Egypt. That's where the new guy gonna come from. I said, Elon.
Apparently, Elon and Trump are some angry little white boys. They mad at everybody.
Who they mad at?
unless they still running under correct programming, I don't know. Either they angry at their crew because they is still they just telling the truth on them.
Well, they was gonna have to. Drew Ali told us that. He said, "I'm gonna make the European tell y'all the truth." He said that. This is why his literature is important, because it's a lot that he said for you to watch for. He said, "I'm gonna leave them there long enough to teach y'all how to run the government." The Europeans gonna have to tell the truth. Gonna have to tell the truth.
I thought about it.
We actually check their bloodlines and run back to us. That's why.
Islam is
Islam.
Back to the royalty. Are descendants of
Yep.
John Hampton and the first 7 people that was actually running this land.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
They're all related. They're all related.
I wondered about Noble Drew Ali. They try to talk about his past and stuff, back circus actor and all this other stuff. They try to discredit him with that.
Always, yeah.
But I was thinking about, I'm a critical thinker, so I was thinking about what if he happened to come across his acting and all this stuff, he happened to come across documentation and paper. This is what it looked like the same happened to him in his travels and all that stuff. He messed around and came across paper, and he started realizing this was our shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, gradual switch from circus acting and all this other stuff over to hip hop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he came across paperwork and stuff. Remember, he's living back closer to that time and what's going on.
Exactly.
So what if he came across paperwork but we didn't? It started him on his path.
Well, when you say that, that's true, because the first portion, a lot of the first 18 or 19 chapters are more of Aquarian gospel writings. The only ones that are really his words are the last few chapters in that Quran. So a lot of it is from travels, because it was India, Europe, and Africa where these things were learned and and taught and things like that. So truly, I can see what you're saying. That does make a whole lot of sense.
You got to remember, a lot of papers still been here.
Uh-huh.
Still been available. The difference, as into now, where they're actively going around burying papers, getting rid of them, changing stuff, like they're doing now. But back then, and during his time, it's not too far after war. He's in the early 1900s.
Uh-huh.
And everything's still sitting around.
Mm-hmm.
We have what we came across, which switched him to the path that he did. You can clearly see Noble was into working, doing shows and all this stuff. And they try to get that to downgrade Noble Drew Ali. And I think that's unfair. Like I said, always got a shit hand.
Mm-hmm.
Because he worked with them, and he worked with the mystics, the mysticism. Mm-hmm. He worked with that. He went through all schools of thought when he worked with that, and he understood what the masses was trying to do. So he brought all of that back to us for us to understand what they're trying to do, so we could understand what's going on for us to move like we're supposed to move, because he left his blueprints clearly cut. So if everyone is following the prophet and understanding where he's coming from, and we could also understand like everything that should not be taken literally when we're reading, but have that understanding that Allah has put on everyone's heart to know that he was doing things for us to unite and take our shit back. Mm-hmm. That's how I see it.
Apparently he got hold of realizing that he had government.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And he started pushing them. I think a lot of people see, that's why I don't really push back. I hang before. I ain't no more, but I hang before. I can't argue with them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I guess they aren't. If you're looking at a society, you're looking at your family. Okay. Family tends to follow family business. Look at the Moors, y'all all some damn attorneys.
What'd you say?
We all some attorneys.
I promise you, I've been going to lawyer for the past 2 years.
Right, y'all know the laws and aspects about family, about drug money. And if you have a hundred millions of people, you're gonna need your law section. You're gonna need people that's following their son. Daddy did, yep, man.
Yep.
That's what wars are. You just following behind your family footsteps.
Yep.
Yeah. Are we our ancestors?
And we are, without a doubt, a contradiction. All day. Without a doubt, a contradiction.
Look, I footsteps.
That's right.
Like you should.
Islam. Islam. Hey, somebody say, hey, Moors. Hey. Tabu Naji. Tabu Naji say, hey, Moors.
Hey. What we say,
We're mirrors. We're mirrors.
I'm a Moorish American Muslim, so
Yes.
Yeah, I'm getting that shit job over there. Trying to have to deal with all that shit.
That's what's up, man. You gave some knowledge. You got me on fire over here.
They just hit it. That's all.
You hit it. Yeah, you did, boy. You busted heads. You can't busted heads today. You had a whole sledgehammer. That's all I'm saying.
It was just meant for us to start talking about that. Ancestors wanted us to have this conversation.
They did. So do you go live? Do you do lives? Because we would love to come on your live and build with you.
Well, no, I typically
He
like
said
doing,
that.
content creation.
Oh, you a content creator. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
create content.
Okay.
I have being a side kid.
You don't mind being inside. That's what's up. Well, dang, you dropped some jewels on us. What y'all think?
You know, some stuff. I don't do live. Come join. Side
Oh, somebody said a more will help you achieve, but really don't give guidance as far as becoming a part of a family. Come on, we do. You talking to the wrong people. You talking to the wrong people, sis.
it's a question after a question. You gotta find your own. You gotta go your own way. You gotta figure out on your own. You gotta get it together. You gotta figure out yourself. It's a question with a question. It's
Yeah,
always like that.
it is. It is.
I was about to say, like, the Moors, I consider most of them the ones that Dre was talking about. Those are the ones that'll lead you into a dark room and never shine light on.
Yeah, those are the ones who send you back into slavery because the prophet warned us. He said, y'all all will put you back in slavery.
And you are, they the ones that turn the light on. But you see all this bullshit that's going on in the dark.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You said the MUUR?
Yes, the
That part.
original.
That part.
You is the one that turned the light on in the room. Like, y'all see all this bullshit that's been going on in the dark?
Oh, right. Y'all see this? These folks been lying.
They've been trying to hide from y'all, right?
Yes.
I want y'all to see this.
Yes.
See this roaches and all that.
Everything.
Yeah, think you was living in a mansion.
Right. Sister Ma or Ma, we are very welcoming to people that have questions and want to know. Yes, this is a state of mind. You got to create your own state of mind in a positive way. So, we can only take you to the water and teach you how to drink. We can't make you drink anything, but we can definitely teach you.
That's the science of the more it's not simple though. That's the science that you're supposed to get, and you don't always have to follow who's leading you.
Yeah.
You have to find your
Own
own way.
way.
It's a self journey. Can't
It
nobody
is.
lead you. You
No.
lead yourself. Allah's gonna lead you. Or
It
whatever
is
your
wrong.
power self. That's the science that you're supposed to gain. That's a degree you're supposed to gain.
It's
I got a
wrong.
better one to sum up everything that y'all about to say. Everybody need to pick up that Constitution and get the ring because it is right in there.
It's
Number
in it.
9 just straight tell you self-governance. What does self mean?
All right. What does self mean?
We're telling everybody you need to go inside self.
Self. This is a self, right? Self.
Self-spiritual journey.
It is.
You gotta do it yourself.
Yeah, do it
Ain't
yourself.
nobody else gonna do it for you.
And nobody's coming to save you.
Because nobody's coming to save. Yes.
Yourself.
Save yourself.
Especially if you keep letting people who are not of us govern over us.
Yes.
Their problem, their ways are the same problem the way of us. We our own self-government.
Mm-hmm.
Because their problems are not the way our problems. You're not going to govern over us when you're not us.
You're not us.
Right. You can't say, Mr. Kowalski can't say what's best for me when he gets ticks and lights and I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We have come to this ideology that it's okay to let foreigners govern, and we got to come back to self-government.
Yes.
Right.
Are you gonna tell me you don't eat like me? you don't live like me, shit, you can't even survive in the sunlight.
No.
Right. But then then I'm gonna come to this ideology that you can govern and say what's best for the land and the people. Yeah. And this is what the war is pushing. This is what our people.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the reason why the history has to be destroyed.
Okay.
It has to be destroyed.
I feel you.
Back.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, the history is holding us back. If people knew the truth that Europeans hijacked the military and overthrew the country, would they feel the same way?
Right.
See, that's right. Which
it's back to the conversation we was having before, because I feel like a lot of people outside this room ain't catching that you're not talking about the white man, you're talking about the motherfucker that brought him over here with them on the boat.
That part.
Our fucking cousins that look just
the
like
cousins.
us are the ones that we need to be worried about.
The cousins, yes.
Skin folk ain't your kin folk.
Because we got to remember, just because you say European does not mean pale. I mean, pale is gray, so that could be you too. So it doesn't necessarily mean from that. We can't look at it from that white person or black, if you want to say it. Yeah, it was more about that's the people. Because you talking about that nobility, they had a lot to do with this.
Yeah, they did. That was the Order 66 was the last desperate stay in power, but as you can see in the movie Star Wars, it backfired on him. Remember, he sent Vader over there to execute the separatists. They didn't expect that. They knew the Order 66 was coming.
So we could call that the Parliament and the Conquistadors. That's what I'll call it. Parliament and Conquistador.
Right. They knew that they was going to turn on him. And just go watch the movie over again. Listen to the dialogue.
Okay. All right.
They knew they was going to turn on them, and they didn't expect that to happen. They knew they was going to pull. They had lost the war. They knew they was going to pull one little more grand hoorah. And when he walks in the room, they're mentioning it, and then he turns around, closes the doors, and locks them, and starts unlocking all of them. Yeah, I'm talking about it when he walks in the room. Have they done the Order 66 yet?
There's another show or movie like Star Wars from back then where they telling the truth like that too. I want to say it's called Stargate.
Stargate.
Stargate tells you about the story that they've been hiding in Peru and why the people in Peru are sanctioned around this weird ass stone that looked like it got a doorway in it. And it was like the man went through with the key and said he'll be back. He ain't came back yet and told the people to guard that gate. And it's down there in Peru.
Yeah.
Big red stone made of clay. And that joint got like an imprinted door. And it looked like there's a key above the doorway. They was talking about that on the History Channel in that joint where they trying to say that our ancestors was aliens. I can't remember the name of the show to save my life. But it'd be on the History Channel.
If you notice in Stargate, all the slaves were European and Asian.
They sure were.
Nobody was black. Everybody was Caucasian, Siberian, and Asian in the Stargate movies. All the slaves.
Made for.
Right.
Slaves.
Right. And
slaves weren't supposed to have a lifespan of more than 30 to 50 years. Who on this planet is supposed to have a lifespan like that? We don't have a lifespan like that because of glucose and I forgot the other stuff that they put all in our food that's breaking down our cells. If you're constantly breaking down the cell and that cell is constantly repairing itself, what's eventually going to start happening? That cell is going to start to implode. That's cancer.
Sister Vashira is a nurse. What you say, Sister V? She's a whole nurse right there.
Gluten. The glue. And when I say gluten, the glue.
And glucose.
Exactly. And what you say the natural flavors.
Yes, natural flavors is beaver butt juice, y'all. When they say natural flavors,
I thought that was supposed to be vanilla.
Beaver butt juice is vanilla. That's beaver butt juice. I'm doing it. Y'all better do your research on it. Do your research on natural flavors.
This right here is for every last one of y'all need.
What's that? Oh yeah,
Elderberries in it.
you right.
Flour, Georgia and turmeric, peach, crackhead,
Oh yeah, he got all the tea.
probiotics in it because they got ginger and lemon in it. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Remember your honey.
yes.
Honey is a natural healing. Honey.
Wow, wow, definitely.
And make sure it's the real honey. That joint that clunk up together like this. I just got this bottle. This ain't old honey.
Okay.
It's new honey. You get that honey that's all like kind of syrupy and watery. That shit fake as hell, bro. That's good. That's good. Our honey. Local hive.
And make sure it's local from where you're from.
From where you're from to prevent you from with all this pollen, because
Yeah.
we got all this pollen going on because we don't have any trees, female trees helping us with this pollen. They didn't cut down all female trees, so this pollen is taking over. So that is a good resource that we need to have getting local honey.
Yeah, from where you are.
They come to these allergies because they cut down all the trees.
Yeah.
They got us. They got us really all we ate was some vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
Some vegetables all over this country.
Even herbalists, fruitarians, vegetarians.
Yep.
And people around this motherfucker that was breatharian.
Yep.
Everybody off the sun and the oxygen.
Mm-hmm. Breatharians. Them breatharians was something else. You're right.
Starting to turn back blue.
Mm-hmm. I can see. Ooh, that's deep.
The reason I know that joint is facts because I had a green birthmark across me at one point that actually started to turn blue when I was a child.
My phone's gonna go dead, yo. I'll be back on here.
All right.
Latoya.
Thank you. Peace and love. We thank you. This was great information.
Yes, thank you.
This is meant for us to rock out.
It was. We gonna rock again.
No such thing as coincidence.
Nah, no such thing. Governs all events. Sister Michelle.
I ain't got to talk to and demonstrate with my sister Tay and my sister Shonda. I felt left out, so I can get on here.
I'm so happy. Yes, so happy you came. This was a great build, y'all. I am like full right now, and y'all know when we get, I'm gonna be digging in. I'm gonna be getting on y'all's nerves tonight.
Tay gonna be on this for about a week or two.
You already know I'm on it. Girl, you already know. I'm in my feelings. I'm in my feelings with these boys for real now. Y'all know I'm really in my feelings. Wait, God, let me stop.
We speaking facts over feelings. We ain't in our feelings like I was telling everybody. We gonna stay and it can't be all in emotional, but in that energy. Just keep moving in that motion. You gotta keep moving.
You're right.
Joshua said that you must control those emotions and be in control of them, for they are a tool for your journey.
Islam.
Right. Yes. Somebody said Tay's sad to say, but she is correct.
Yeah, you was.
I'm still trying to. I've never fever butt juice though. I still ain't did my research and went dive deep in that because
you're gonna find out it got a lot to do with vanilla too.
Yeah.
I still drink. I want her to go ahead and elaborate on
the flavor.
Go ahead and. So what kind of butt juice is it?
It's like a little sack that they carry inside their rectums that they snatch out.
And it's flavor. That's natural flavor. That's a natural flavor. It naturally came out of them.
But so that's natural, so it shouldn't hurt us then, right?
Girl, I don't know.
Most animal byproducts won't hurt us because our bodies isn't meant to digest it. Our stomach acid don't get as high as the wild man of the book. The book of the Moors and the Wild Man. our digestive tracts. Their digestive tracts is more like the wolf. Our digestive tract is more like the monkey. If you look at the monkey, the gorilla, the ape, the orangutan, and things like that, what they eat, flowers.
They eat fruit and vegetables. They don't eat all that stuff. But
the lion, the wolf, the jaguar, what they do, they run and chase down their meat. This is why if you look at the wild man's teeth, they had sharper teeth than ours. Ours are, if you look at ours, it's dull. They're meant to grind. They're meant to.
Ours are not meant to tear.
We're not meant to sharp.
To tear. It's not meant to tear flesh. Our teeth aren't meant to
down on the fruit and get the juice out of it, or the actual H3O. Because a lot of
that's the real water, right?
Yes.
Well, the real water
in your fruit.
Inside the plants, inside the aloe vera, inside the coconut. If you crack open the coconut and test the inside of the coconut's H3O, you'll find out that's the closest thing you can find to breast milk.
It's lime.
Yep, you mix the lime with the coconut.
It's lime. Y'all bet.
I got a bad joke with that. Don't ever do that. That's the worst shit I've ever had in my
What's that?
What is it?
The lime and the coconut, bro. That joint together is horrible.
Horrible? The lime and the coconut together is bad. Oh. I don't really like
coconut. I gotta tell you a bad joke, right? All right, I'm almighty, right? He was hilarious, or she was hilarious, whichever gender it goes by. But it's hilarious. Why? Because everything that tastes good to you, that's bad for you. A good cooked steak, that's horrible for you. That ain't got no nutrition in it. But a beet, which if you take the beet leaves, is one of the most powerful detox, maybe in the top 5. If you eat the beet itself, the root, it actually cleansing your blood is one of the most stringent blood cleansers, right? But that motherfucker tastes horrible to you.
It's horrible. The beet, and then you mix the ginger, and you put your garlic in it. And
what you do to it, it's going to be horrible. Like what she's telling you right now to do, my brain is just like,
Really?
He's telling me that's healthy.
That's
it's a blood purifier. That beet juice is a blood purifier. It's going to help your
blood purifier, God. I don't mean to cut you off about it, but it's not just a blood purifier, because I was studying herbs at one point too. I really studied the heck out of Dr. Sabi. So if you're using the beet, that's the blood purifier right there, like I was teaching y'all. It's gonna clean the blood out. If you're using the ginger, it's gonna break down your digestive tract. It's gonna cleanse out the stomach. It's gonna balance out the stomach acid. It's gonna try and pull everything out of the lower intestines and large intestines. It's gonna be the best time you ever had in the bathroom. That garlic and that onion is also breaking down the bad cells that's in your white blood cells and red blood cells. The onion is a detoxifier that hits everything in the lymphatic system and pulls all the impurities out of the lymphatic system. So that's a great cleanser for you. Like, I'm not going to tell anybody to do it and not be near a bathroom, but that's a great purifier for you, but it ain't going to taste good to you. I don't give a freak if you soak it in honey.
No, I'm like, it's really, I'm around someone that drinks it daily, and I'll be like, brush your teeth. Like, it stinks so bad.
Really?
It's full of toxins.
But it's good.
You're smelling them toxins come out that person.
So you know how you could tell if your body is full of toxins? I learned this in Ayurvedic class, y'all. When you go and take a poop, if your poop stains the toilet, you have toxins in your body. If it doesn't stain...
Gas and everybody running for oxygen. Yeah.
Exactly. For real though, if your gas is smelling bad, that means you got
something's going on in you
that you need to be getting rid of. This shit stinks. When your breath is stinking, and I hate to say this, my mom used to always tell me this: if like somebody's breath was stinking or whatever,
they had me the bowel movement.
You need to go take a shit.
Yep.
That's what she used to tell me. I'd be like, oh wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was, yeah.
Girl, that's my grandma. My grandma would do that to us. Who used the bathroom? You better not say that, because she gonna smell your breath too. She would do that. Come here, let me smell your breath. And as soon as she smelled anybody's breath that didn't smell right, oh yeah, y'all need to go to the bathroom. And here she come with the castor oil. Everybody going to the bathroom.
You need to go take a poop.
Yeah, because your breath should not be smelling like that. Huh?
Y'all want to hear why that is?
What is that?
I know what it is, but you can tell. I want to hear it.
Yeah.
What it is.
Because those two things are the closest connected. And the reason they are the closest connected is because of how your system is ran, right?
Right.
Y'all know where the two most effective places is to put medicine so your body can absorb it?
The two effective places to put your medicine?
Effective places to put your medicine to make sure
under
your
your
body
tongue.
absorb every last bit of that nutrition.
Under your tongue.
Nope.
Under your tongue.
Is it your feet?
Yes, one of them is under your tongue. Nope, not your feet.
Your rectum. Your rectum.
Your tongue, that's one of them.
What'd you say?
Rectum?
Your rectum?
Yes.
I thought so.
They have the most absorbent veins in your whole lymphatic system. Your tongue and your rectum. So when the poison starts to build up, the first two places you're going to be able to tell is the tongue and the rectum.
That's true.
When you get a fever, the first place you get your butthole
is your butt. That's why they take it from the rectum of a baby. They take the temperature from a baby in the rectum.
The accurate temperature when you take it within the rectum.
Your rectum will tell you if you're getting a fever before your whole body
will. That's facts. That's facts. Because my mom used to put it in between, like when she was teaching me with my children, in between their butt or up under their arm if they would be still. That was the best place to get a temperature. Is that correct, Vashira?
Yeah, when you put it up under your arm, you just add a degree.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So I didn't specialize like more so. I was taught with westernized. You know what I'm saying? It's westernized. So with science, with the nursing, and it's westernized. So a lot of things that I had been taught, I had to go and reteach myself on things that works for my people. You know what I'm saying? Because everything that I've been taught is not for my people. You know, because each one of us, you can't treat each and every person the same. Based on who they are. You know what I'm saying? Because each one of us has our own type of diagnoses that we may have, but our treatment that we may need is different. Like our diets, like the diets for us is different from a diet from the Caucasians. Our diets are not the same. What works for them is not going to work for us. It's not going to help us. So I had to.
It's also blood type, guys. The blood type plays a very big role in how the body absorbs the nutrients and vitamins. The blood type. So just being you.
With your genes and your DNA, your genetic makeup, all that plays a part with your healing process of what you need. Like they give people the same medications, they got the same diagnosis. That's not going to work for everybody. Everybody's not the same. Right.
Because we all absorb differently. Even when it comes to medicine, let's say furosemide may make me go to the bathroom. We both kidney patients, right? And they're trying to get us to go number one. Furosemide may work for me, but furosemide may do jack for you, and they may have to put you on like bromocrine, I think is what they call it.
Yep.
So even when it comes to blood pressure medicines, like for me and my mom, the crazy thing was a lot of the medicines that worked for her worked for me, and vice versa. But there was some medicines that was different for me than it was for her, and that's my mother. So if there's a slight genetic difference right there just between that person, imagine the genetic difference between me and somebody I'm not blood related to.
Wow.
It's different. Everything is you can't prescribe everybody the same thing. That's why you have to play up. Like they have it now where you get a DNA testing, genetic testing when it comes to your like any type of like mental health, wellness, or whatever else. Every medicine that they give you is not going to work for you. You have to see what your genetic makeup is in order for a certain medication to work for you. And a lot of ones don't have that insurance, don't have all that access to get that. So they take what is given to them, but not knowing that it's not helping them. It's really like I say all medicine, and I'm being very contradictory when I say this because I am a nurse, but all medicine is going to help you, but it's also going to affect something else. You know what I'm saying? So the best route I would say to go will be a holistic or overweight. But my thing is, in order for you to go into a herbalistic healing, is that you have to catch the ongoing diagnosis before it gets too bad to where you don't have to accept what they're trying to give you. You have to already in preparedness of handling the situation before it gets out of control. Because once it gets out of control, there's only so much that they can do. So they're going to take on that measure to where this is what they're going to give you. And it's going to help you, but it's also going to affect something else. That's just like with Tylenol. You take too much Tylenol, it's going to affect your liver. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you have to not understand like your body. That's why it's key to go to the doctor. I'm not saying it's bad going to the doctor, but going to the doctor and knowing where your levels is at, knowing how your body is producing this and that, it's okay. Get your diagnosis, get your levels, get your numbers, get everything to prepare yourself. Because if you're not going to the doctor got expertise to give you what's going on with your body, but then they're going to give you that in preparedness to where you don't have to keep going back to the doctor to accept the medication that they're trying to give you. That's not really going to help you. It's going to just heal one thing, but it's going to hinder another. You know, it's okay to go to the doctors. That's why you should go get your checkups. You know, just to get the diagnosis. You don't have to always get the treatment. Know where you at. You know what I'm saying? Know where you at health wise. You know what I mean? You know, health is good.
That is so true, V. That's so true. At least know where it is so then you can know how to fight whatever's going on in you.
That's it, but I mean, all them, you got cancer, you got this, you gotta do radiation, you gotta do chemo. No, that really ain't helping. But if you go to the doctor and you keep it up with yourself, taking care of yourself, and not letting things get too out of hand, then you can intervene and go your own route. But a lot of ones are not having access to having that, going to the doctor or don't want to go to the doctor, have that stigma. Because I don't like to go to the hospitals, and I don't like doing none of that. And I'm a nurse. I don't like doing that. But I'll go get my checkups just to know where I'm at, so I can take preventive measures. I won't have to take what they give me, because everything that they giving you, I'm telling you, is killing something.
Yeah, you're right. That's why you what?
They screw dialysis.
I know.
Experience, it ain't worth jack. It don't feel like it's actually helping. It feel like it's doing enough to keep you from going away from it. It's like putting a Band-Aid on the bullet wound, literally.
Yes.
You needing dialysis. It's where your kidneys is at a certain level to where it cannot end and filter out bad things. You know what I'm saying? But if you're doing dialysis and you still thriving, you're still able to do what you do, you can still take preventive measures, you know what I'm saying, in order to eat right and do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Don't never let the doctor be your last solution of what he's telling you. You know, that's how I see things. You know what I'm saying? A doctor can only say so much scientifically, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, our lives. So you have to understand, like, you can tell me whatever you want to tell me, and I'm going to get these dialysis, but at the same time, you can take preventive measures once he tells you that, but you just got to stay on top of it. You know what I'm saying? You just got to stay on top of things and not let it get too much out of control, because there's a lot of people that be on dialysis, but it's temporary.
I'm dealing with it because I was, I'm gonna just say, a little slow. I wasn't thinking. I didn't realize that I was fanning the smoke and not going for the fire. I was going with sickle cell, and sickle cell knocked my kidney out. Like when I was younger, I had got the stage 3 and didn't need dialysis. I was able to bring myself back. That's when I first started studying Dr. Sagan. This last time, sickle cell crisis was so bad, like it actually damaged my heart, my lungs, and completely shut out the kidneys. And I'm giving my kidneys, not realizing I need to keep the sickle cell at bay.
Everything we need has been given to us. So everything we need to heal ourselves has been given to us. You can't always allow these pharmaceutical things take over and, stray you away of what is here. Everything we need to heal ourselves is here.
Mm-hmm.
But let it get that far, you have to take the measures, but it's still so don't never give up, and you also start follow Dr. CB, his help. If you feel like that's gonna work for you, start to eat right and do things with you. You never know what I'm saying, what's going to happen within your journey and what's
That's
going on
right.
with you. You know what I'm saying? Miracles do happen. So just take care of yourself, because you can't let the doctor is not, he's a man just like you, man. You can't let him have the last call or nothing.
That's right. Islam. Come on,